We're back on Monday. Maz is back on Monday. See you then. Have a good one. I'm McCarthy.
From the Town Fair Tire Studio, the Celtics, the Patriots, the Bruins, and the Revolution play here. WBZ-FM and HD Boston 98.5, the Sports Hub, a Beasley Media Group station. Sports Hub headlines.
We're about to get underway in the NHL draft tonight. Bruins with the 25th overall pick, which of course they got in the Linus Ullmark deal earlier this week. You can find full coverage tonight at 98.5thesportshub.com. Red Sox opening up a weekend set with the Padres tonight. This is an Apple TV game. Nick Pivetta on the mound, first pitch, 7:10. Celtics drafting forward Anton Watson last night in second round of the draft out of Gonzaga. Bronny James taken by the Lakers one pick later. Emmanuel Quickley signing a 5-year, $175 million extension in Toronto. The Mavericks trading Tim Hardaway Jr. to Detroit for Quentin Grimes. Revolution hosts Columbus tomorrow night, 7:30 kickoff here on the Sports Hub. Headlines are brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandOilChange.com for 15% off your drive-through oil change at Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Now open in Weymouth, Canton, Bedford, and Natick. I'm Matt McCarthy. Joe Murray has you next in 30 minutes.
If you've got the app, you've got Hutcheon and Hardy to wake you up no matter where you are.
Or who may or may not have been to jail.
Get the app. The 98.5 The Sports Hub app.
You know, as far as like trying to extend our guys, and we talked about Sam earlier, we'd love to have these guys that are extension eligible around here as long as we can. They're great. I mean, they're awesome, obviously. And as far as signing or adding to this year's payroll, there's really not much we can do, right? It's going to be basically minimum level contracts or those levels. And, even if we were to make a trade, we can't take more in, right? That's just the way the new rules work. So you kind of know where you're going to be for this year as currently constructed. And yeah, we have the green light to do that. And, we're just going to try to be as good as we can be again.
Well, it's a Joe show. We've seen it. Nobody wants to be there. It's a big bad show tonight. Just can't take this damn parade. Who cares? Yeah, it's a Joe show. There's a 2-mile wait to get past the damn green line.
Who gets hit by a bear in the neighborhood, call Joe Murray.
Sports Hub of Joe Murray with you tonight until 11 o'clock here on the Sports Hub. Happy Friday to everyone. If everyone's going away, you got me. You got Matt Stenberg tonight. You got us on YouTube as well and on the phones at 617-779-0985. So much to get into, and really, we don't do the old Joe Show style here. Since taking over just a tad over a year ago, I used to just go anything goes. But you know what? It's Friday. Next week is the 4th of July. Anything goes today on the Joe Show. Anything at all. Except for, of course, politics and religion. That's it. Anything goes at all. If you want to talk about the Red Sox and Xander Bogaerts and not being able to watch the game right now, you can do that. I got a ton of Celtic stuff off the top. You may have just heard some Brad Stevens there. Patriots thoughts. We'll have John Sarianides from New England Football Journal joining us tonight. Maybe I'll ask him about some of the other college teams as well, as we're starting to ramp up for that season. And the Bruins, will they do anything tonight as far as acquiring a member of the team? Will they use the 25th pick tonight to acquire another player? So we have the NHL draft on as well, and we'll be with you all night here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. And again, open phone lines all night long at 617-779-0985. I know a lot of people are away. You know how I know everyone's away? Because I got here from Peabody in probably 26 minutes. So that's very fast, and it's usually hours. So I can tell that people are away, but hey, if you're out and about, this is the place to hang out tonight. And I just wanted to start Celtics one more time. I've been doing a lot of Celtics talk ever since, of course, winning the championship, but now it's a little bit different. There's the Porzingis injury that I think is something that, for those people that immediately say repeat, like me, I'm one of those people. I don't think the rest of the league is getting better. There are trades happening. The draft just happened. I know that there are a lot of contract decisions and things can change, right? Jimmy Butler's talking about the fans in Miami. A lot of things can change. What's going to happen to Kevin Durant? So moves are still to be had. But maybe New York is the closest now after making some moves. Maybe they are. Atlanta just made a move. They moved on from Dejounte Murray. Who knows what they do with Trae Young? New Orleans just added Dejounte Murray. There are moves that are being made. Teams are trying to improve. I mean, look at the Minnesota Timberwolves. They ended up trading into the first round of the draft. A lot is happening. But when you think about the Celtics, they're still the best team. The players they have in place, still the best. But without Kristaps Porzingis to start the season, maybe they don't go on the run. Maybe the spacing isn't as great as it was. You know, could something happen with Jason Tatum? The wrist thing is always there, and he was dealing with something in the playoffs. We don't know what it was yet. But there are hiccups. There's contract hiccups. What's going to happen with Sam Hauser and his option? Derek White, look at the money that's going around the league right now. Emmanuel Quickly, did you see what he just got? OG Anunoby? What's Derek White going to get? Who would you rather have, those guys or White? And then their draft picks that they made. It's just, I'm already looking at the repeat, #repeat, but in the NBA, 6 different winners to win a championship. What makes you think it's so easy to go back-to-back? It's happened plenty of times, specifically in that sport from some really good teams. This is a really good team, but the Porzingis injury could be the first thing to, I don't want to say derail it, but let's just look at what happened with Denver last year. Just thinking of Denver, I think they ran out of gas. They won the championship. They were without Bruce Brown. They had some injuries. I think Jokic was worn down, doing way too much. Jamal Murray was hurt for a period of time. Michael Porter Jr. wasn't playing to the level that he was. And Aaron Gordon wasn't the same guy. But everyone thought you would see them in the finals. They ran out of gas. They didn't have it. They were a championship team that lost and couldn't get back to the spot. Everyone's under contract, but it's still a question mark. Are teams going to get closer to the Celtics? That's where I wanted to start tonight at 617-779-0985. Also, just a couple of other things I wanted to bring up. And there's a lot to get into when it comes to the Celtics. For me, I love their draft. I love what they did. I don't know if they're going to be contributors right away. I don't. But I like the players that they got because I think they can fit this system. And if you look at those two college teams, between Creighton and Gonzaga, those are teams that play with math. People don't like the math words or comments that are out there, but it's real. Does it win you a championship? I don't think so. Looking at the Celtics, they want to say it does. I mean, they'll put it on a bulletin board. They'll do it. Their math worked. I still think it was the defense. That's the reason why they won a championship. But the clip you heard was Brad Stevens saying he wants to sustain the run. And as far as signing or adding to this year's payroll, there's really not much they can do. It's going to be minimum level contracts or those mid-level. Maybe they can make a trade. They can't take in, is what he said. They can't take in. With the new rules and how they work, you know where they're going to be. They like the way they're currently constructed. they do have the green light to do what they need to do if they have to do that again. So right now, the Celtics, $210 million in cap allocations. And you got to take into account Jason Tatum's going to get an extension. Sam Hauser, he's got that club option. And right now, hopes to be under contract next season, but there's a upcoming club option for him on Saturday. He's among the several offseason priorities that Brad Stevens emphasized to bring back on this team. He specifically said he wanted Hauser to be here for the long term. But Brad Stevens wants to sustain this run. They're not going to move on from what they have, but they do have the green light to do so. But if they're going to add, it's going to be mid-level. And I'm interested to see now, around the league, when you watch around the league now, do players want to play in Boston to win a championship at mid-level money? We've seen that with teams all across the league. The Celtics are now that team. So as much as I say things will be different next year without Kristaps Porzingis until Christmas or later, who do they get to fill that role? Let's see if they can hit on one of these players that could become available at the mid-level. So we'll start there at 617-779-0985. I opened up the phone lines. So, Matt, I know you took them already. Why don't we take a couple to start the show? We usually don't do that. We'll start with Mark. He's in Dorchester. Hey, Mark.
Hey, happy Friday, Joe.
You too, man.
Two quick questions. The first thing was obviously the Pelicans trade, and kind of based off of that, I mean, they've got a squad now, so trying to get your perspective on today, like where do you think they'll fit in the Western Conference? And then B, since it's open mic night, you taking bets on the Karen Reed verdict tomorrow morning?
A little political for me. But you know what? Here's where I would tell you to go. At Dan Lifshatz. If you would like that information, at Dan Lifshatz. And he'll be on tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. right here. You can call right in. He's the perfect guy to help you with that one. JP in North Providence. Hello, sir.
Joe, I'm stressing. Sorry to come in about 5.5 hours early on the show. I'm 15 minutes picking up the date, going to the Kowloon. Can I drop your name to make sure I get a table? And do I get the pork ribs or the steak teriyaki?
Oh, man. Listen, you go in there. I don't know what I can do for you, right? But are you going inside or outside?
Well, the Dave Macklin show's outside in the tent.
That's right.
And I'm assuming the food is on the inside, so I got to look like I know what I'm doing, Joe. It's not always easy.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know what you're doing. Everyone knows me there, right? It's like Cheers at that place for me. But I will tell you this. If you're there, right, so you're going to impress tonight? Is that what you're doing? Or you're looking to have a good time?
I got to make sure I get a table because it's call-ahead seating. I want to make sure I get a table and I get the right meal.
I think you'll be just fine when you show up. How about that?
Okay.
And then the second thing is, what did you say? I like the boneless ribs. That's what I get. I like the boneless. But I had something there the other night that I've never had before, and it was absolutely fantastic. It was the curry fried rice with shrimp. I'm telling you, man, it was absolutely fantastic. And JP, I don't know, somebody may use this as content later on, so I just wanted to let you know about that.
Yeah, I know. We're making the morning show. We're helping them out. We should get royalties, Joe. Hey, listen, I'm 50-50 in on a fork tonight with the rice. I'm out on the shrimp. I'm allergic to seafood, but she loves it. I'll recommend it, Joe. I'll give you an update in the chat because the chat's going to blow up tonight. Let's just say it was a little thin last night. We won't go there.
Well,
but
I'll tell you this much. You got to get the saugus wings if you want to get a little dirty.
all right. And Joe, I like the big boy they got in the second round. A banger, got a little body to him.
They
can
did
play.
They also got an undrafted kid that I think could help out at some point. That's a big as well.
I like it, Joe. I like that he got guys that played for 5 years. They're healthy. I'll take it.
All right,
Joe. I'll talk to you later.
You have fun tonight, man. I'm jealous, bro. You enjoy yourself.
Hey, I was going to call at the door and call the show and hand somebody the phone. I thought maybe that'd really work. Thanks, Joe.
Listen, they are the most accommodating people. You'll be fine.
Thanks, Joe.
You got it, bro. Thank you. You didn't expect to take that one already, Matt. 2 calls in, Kowloon drop. 2 calls in.
Hey, I mean, the Kowloon is worth it, right?
It's totally worth it. By the way, Stenberg, I was going to say this to you. You and I work together a lot. We just don't do shows together a lot.
Correct.
Like you're banging out all these Celtics games, right?
Yeah.
We're working all these games.
Yeah, we're here together all the time.
We're here together all the time. We just don't get to do the night show together.
Correct.
So Matt Stenberg's here all night, everyone, and it is an open mic night tonight. Anything goes on the Joe Show. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Joe Murray. Anything goes tonight, guys. Anything goes at all. 617-779-0985. That was Brad Stevens talking about the draft picks, which I'll get into in a minute here. But I see you guys in the chat. KB, Bruins luchador Baba Ganoush is in there. Prince Humperdinck, one of my favorites. Just like to say his name. I don't Don't know where it all came from. Chucky Olson's in there. So you can join us on YouTube. Just go to 98.5 The Sports Hub. On YouTube, 98.5 The Sports Hub / The Sports Hub. And then you can find us right there. You can go to 98.5 The Sports Hub on your YouTube, on an app, on your television, on your phone, whatever you like to do. So you can chat. Russ Fox is in there too, so I got to say what's up to him. As well with Brad Stevens making moves. Big words there. Guys are winning players. We've heard about winning players here in Boston before. But these two schools, very good. Creighton made it to the Sweet 16. Gonzaga has been in the tournament for years. They were a little down this year, though. A little down. And as you mentioned, at these picks, you're not picking for top 5. You're not weighing out the stuff you used to do. You're looking for the best fit, a player who can come in and grow within the group. So I gave a comp on Baylor Shireman. My comp is Joe Ingles. He played 10 years in the NBA. He's a scorer. He's a shooter that can play point if he wanted to. Good ball handling, but not to the degree of maybe what Shireman could be. So I was looking around here into some other comps that people have in the league, and Celtics assistant coach gave an assessment on Shireman and mentioned that they reminded him of Luke Kennard, who I think was a top 12 draft pick a few years ago. I want to say he was a top 12 pick. And I know Austin Ainge also had some comments on Shireman as well, but Luke Kennard is the comp. If that's the case, you got yourself a nice little player here. I just looked up Kennard for his career. Averaged 10 points per game, shooting, 44% from 3 for his career. I didn't realize that. 44% Luke Kennard shot. So when it comes to Shireman, he shot 39% for his career. When he was at South Dakota State, he shot 46% one season. I think the kid can play. I don't think the Celtics have a guy on their roster with his intangibles. The closest is Derek White. So that's why when I say who has the intangibles on the roster, when Derek White's name comes up, I think about that extension. OG Anunoby is going to get $42 million a year. What's Derek White going to get? Emmanuel Quickly just got paid. What is Derek White going to get? I think the Celtics are going to have to watch this one a little bit. They had a shot to give him an extension this year. They declined. He's back this year. They want to extend him this summer, but if they don't, do they just try to let him get back into before free agency and work out a deal if he wants to stay or go? I think he holds the control on this one. And I think that's why they drafted Shireman. I think that's why they did that. He can fill some of the intangibles that Derek White can. Now, Derek White's one of the best blocking guards in the league, but Shireman is one of the best rebounders in college basketball for a long, long, long time. That's what he can do. I mean, if you look it up, I think he played 5 years and has the most in the last 25 years. Anyways, intangibles. They love that stuff. So your thoughts at 617-779-0985. I did want to bring up the other player that they selected, Anton Watson. Anton Watson played at Gonzaga, 6'8", 151 college games. Started every one of them in the final 2 years. Did it all for them, though. Wasn't much of a shooter. 30% from 3, but Brad Stevens thinks this kid should air it out a little bit more. I mean, he played on a team where they did a lot of passing and cutting and looking inside. When Jalen Suggs was there, that's what he did. But his field goal percentage right around 62%. But they like him. They think he can do multiple things. His comp was Al Horford. I'm trying to think. There was another comp that someone had on him. NBA comps, comparisons, right? But this is a guy that's been a winner. Probably that's going to be a G League player for a couple of years. But now you look at it. I don't know what they're going to do with these guys. I think Shireman can play. Anton, I don't know. Jordan Walsh, I think, can play. But those 3 guys, if you think about it, They probably only have room for 2 of them. But as the salary cap implications and the second apron continue, they have to develop these guys to see if they can hit on any of them. I think they're going to hit on Shireman. Your thoughts at 617-779-0985. We got Ryan. He's in Gloucester. What's up, Ryan?
Hey, Joe. Big fan.
What's up, buddy?
Long-time listener. Just curious, have you been to the Fiesta?
So it's this week. I was in Gloucester. I go to Long Beach.
Long Beach. I'm a Lanesville guy, so I'm Plum Cove.
Okay, yeah, dude, that little shack down the street, lobster rolls, $13.99 on Tuesdays.
Oh no, it's a beautiful place.
You know the hot buttered bun.
Oh, yeah. Would you consider walking the greasy pole?
So probably not now because I'm 42 with a bad back and bad knees. So but actually, I got a buddy who's won the greasy pole event a couple of times.
Really?
Yeah.
I walked it like 20 years ago. First Friday poll, and this is the whatever it is. It used to just do Saturday and Sunday, so now it's the annual Friday poll. And that's when annuals can get on there that aren't actually Italian, because you used to have to be Italian to get on the poll. I mean, I'm an Irish guy.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, great. Yeah, no, I know. I wouldn't do it, but I wouldn't run it. But I would have. I would have back in the day.
Listen to the show all the time, and I was just curious,
Yeah, I don't know.
Guy.
I listen. I'm from Boston. I'm now a North Shore man, but I got the Parisi family guy. I know keeps raves about this thing. And tells me all the time, and I love Gloucester, bro. It's a great area, good food down there.
It's bananas. There's like helicopters, and it's become a thing.
It's like Goodfellas.
It's just weird. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, you got to get all your white shirts ready, and your, if you're Italian, you represent, man.
Hey, who knows? I might be down there this weekend. Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate you. You ever heard of the greasy pole there, Matt? Yeah, I know you're not from here.
I have, actually. One of my good buddies is going up to Gloucester for this event. He goes there every year. His friends partake in it.
Yep. So I know the winner. He's won multiples. I met him at a wrestling show of all places. But anyways, yes, there's this greasy pole, and people run it. I'd hurt myself. Come on, one weird slip up, and you got yourself an ACL, MCL sprain.
It sounds like what people in Philly do just like regularly.
Yeah, good. Now
you got to make an event out of it up
You're
here.
from are you from Philly or you work in West Virginia? What's the timeline there?
My dad's from Philly,
yep.
And I'm from Southern Virginia. So not a lot of sports in Southern Virginia, so I adopted the Philadelphia.
So you're an adopted Philly
from my
fan.
Father, yes.
You see those new green? They're going to wear those green jerseys this year.
Yeah, the Kelly Green. They're breaking them out again. Those are better. Than
you're in on those?
In, absolutely.
We're going to do in or out later on tonight, but you're in on the green.
Yes, in on the Kelly Green for sure.
Okay, I'm in on the greasy pole. I just 20 years ago in. Now I'll sprain my butt. You know what I mean? I'd pull something, man.
I mean, you could spectate.
Oh, I'd call it. I'd do play-by-play. And he's off. And he's slipping. There he goes. Next. It'd be like Chris Berman at the home run derby.
Ow, my back.
Let's talk to Matt. He's in the car. Hey, Matt.
Hey, what's going on, Joe?
Yo.
So I don't have anything against the picks they got. I think the guys they got are good fits. But the one gripe I kind of have is they got Walsh last year. They got this guy Peterson who's in the G League. He played pretty well. They get these two forwards. It seems like they're stacking up a lot at this forward position. I would have loved to see them take. I would have liked to see them take Flipnowski. He was on the board late in the round. Or even a guard, maybe.
Listen, I understand they probably need size, but in their situation, they're going with best available. And I'm really I'm not a Filipowski guy. I'm not. And there's stories that I think are going to get brought up about him that I just don't care about. But I don't know. I mean, Hasn't Brad Stevens done a good job? Why are we questioning anything with Brad Stevens at this point? If I keep calling him Bailey, if Baylor Shireman is going to come in and handle the ball, play 3 positions, isn't that what Derek White plays? It's insurance for him. Jordan Walsh is 19 years old. He's 6'8". He can jump out of the gym. He makes no money, and it doesn't go against their cap. That's why they have him. Peterson, he's insurance too. Sam Hauser was undrafted, right? Sam Hauser, undrafted? Look at him now. Peterson's on that same trajectory. I don't think he can defend like him by any means. They're trying to develop talent so they can make moves. That's what they're doing. This is what a program does. Now, there are organizations that do things. This is a program, right? Think about college programs, what they do, what they develop, how they roll. They're going to keep what they're doing and allocating the assets to the position and to the numbers. These guys fit the role, and they're winning players. 617-779-0985. We got the Celtics on the table, and I just wanted to give you a quick hockey update because tonight is the NHL draft, and the first pick is off the board. I will tell you who that first pick was in Sports Hub Headlines.
Sports Hub Headlines.
All right, Macklin Celebrini goes to the San Jose Sharks with the number 1 pick in the NHL draft tonight. The Bruins, they select 25th in the first round. Also, Brad Marchand and Charlie McAvoy. They'll be at the Four Nation Face-Off tournament representing their countries. Red Sox and Padres underway over at Fenway Park. It was supposed to be the return of Xander Bogaerts, but at the moment, Red Sox and Padres, no score in the bottom of the second inning. And an NBA trade went down a little while ago. Atlanta sending Dejounte Murray to New Orleans in exchange for Larry Nance Jr. and 2 first-round picks. Headlines, they are brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Don't put off losing weight this summer. Reach your goal during the easiest season for weight loss. Awaken 180, the official weight loss program of summer. I'm Joe Murray. Your next update in 30 minutes.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5. You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Runners and walkers, join me, Dave McGilvery, and my Finish Strong Foundation at the 3rd annual Run Medfit on September 27th and 28th. Register now to run or walk and learn more at runmedfit.com.
Celebrate July 4th with fireworks from Fireworks Over the Border in Seabrook, New Hampshire. Just 45 minutes from Boston. The largest selection of reloadable artillery shells, jumbo rockets, and 500-gram cakes. For directions, open the Waze app and enter Fireworks Over the Border. Must be 21 or older. Check with local police and fire department for fireworks allowed in your community.
Whether I'm heading to a game, the airport, or out with friends, to get where I need to be in comfort and style, I rely on the pros at A Plus Coach. Anthony and his team at A Plus Coach offer world-class personal transportation services with the best fleet of luxury vehicles anywhere in Massachusetts, all at an affordable price. Next time.
As we're back here on YouTube, I'm Joe Murray, back here on 98.5 The Sports as well. Matt Stenberg is in tonight. That was Don Sweeney. You heard him there. There's a pick tonight. Finally. It's been how long? How long has it been since Don Sweeney had a pick in the first round? Oh, 2021. That's right. 2021. And they have no second, no third round pick. So, I mean, they needed something. They need to get more in there. What approach, though, will the Bruins take with this pick? What do you think? I think they're just going to take the best player available, whether it's a defenseman, wing, center, wing, whatever. I don't think they're going to take a goalie, but they need to get better there. Now, I'm still interested if they make a move. Could they? Would they trade the 25th pick? And I wrote an article today, 985thesportsup.com, just indicating that Draisaitl is the favorite to land with the Bruins, if not back with Edmonton. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But the Bruins have some decisions to make. That Charlie McAvoy no-trade clause fully kicks in on July 1st. And I will say this. On the Pat McAfee show today, Elliot Friedman just mentioned that Connor McDavid might have something to do with it. Like, he wants him to stay, but they just fired the general manager. He might want to get more of a long-term deal. They may not be able to afford it. And I just bring up McAvoy for Draisaitl. Is it something that people would consider? How do you not? The only problem is that you're going to have to extend the guy after that. Do you have to throw in the 25th pick for that? So it's the betting favorite. It's worth talking about. It's a good hockey trade, and it would make sense because you're not allocating all that money to your defensemen and goaltenders anymore. The Bruins scored 267 goals last year and were 12th in the NHL. That's just not good enough for this team. It's just, Matt, you work the games too, man. They need to score more. They score 3.5 in the regular season and score 2.3 in the playoffs. So it's great when Danton Heinen and some other guys give you a lift. JVR during the regular season gives you a lift, right? When you get to the playoffs, there are no-shows. Pavel Zacha at times is a no-show. Would they do it? I don't think they will. But if you're not, are you in the mix on Lindholm? Reportedly, Athletic said today, Fluto Shinzawa mentioned a center and a defenseman. You want to get a center and a defenseman that are top guys in. But who are you moving on from? It's probably Lindholm. It's probably who you would move on from, but I don't know. An offensive player like you got to sniff it out. You got to sniff it out. And I don't know. Have I been really impressed? I know I've been called him Charlie McAverage a couple of times. I know. Wasn't that great last year? Made a lot of mistakes. He's supposed to be one of the best defensemen in all the NHL. Just got named to the U.S. team. Just something to consider. A $9 million defenseman or, I don't know, $11, $12 million guy who can score. You get the best goalie in the world. You have this system that works. Start thinking offensive. 617-779-0985. That's the phone number if you want to jump aboard. Everything's on the table. I'm just yelling about whatever. Benny is in Oxford.
Hey Joe, what's going on, man?
How you doing?
Doing good. You mentioned Bruins, but really quick, Celtics take.
Everything, man. Everything's on the table.
Everything. I'm with it, man. I saw a report somewhere. I don't know how true it is, and I didn't do a bunch of research into it. But if the Pistons release Wiseman, do you call him, take a flyer on that?
Yeah, because it'd have to be in mid-level.
Yeah, and I don't think he's got. I think
would.
Contract for.
I would. You know why? Because I think he would thrive in Boston.
I agree.
What I mean by thrive is probably double. Like, this guy was a former number one pick, right? Like college level blue chip prospect. He was in Golden State, and that held him back, right? Because of their development, they couldn't really throw him out there. He was a part of the mix at times, injuries also. But I think here in Boston, it's like, hey, we need you for 35 games or more, man. You need to be a part of this. I think that the way that they move the ball, and when they look inside, you need a guy that can pass the ball when he's double teamed, or he can do that. But can he shoot? And I just don't know if he fits into that. And I'll look up Wiseman's three. I doubt it, right? He probably doesn't have much of a.
I don't think he's much of a 3-point shooter, but I don't think you'd pick him up looking for that. I think he'd fill more of that Cornet.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this: Would you rather have Drummond or Wiseman?
Me personally, I'm past the Drummond train. I'd rather have Wiseman at this point.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm all set with Drummond 10 years ago, maybe.
I had to look up Wiseman. I just had to see if he's ever, because in my head I'm like that guy can't shoot. Nope, he actually has hit a couple though. Nothing. No, he can't shoot. He's strictly a field goal guy.
Yeah, that's what I would take him as, like a core or Cornet Cater guy, someone down low, just another 7-foot athletic body that can fill those minutes. Protect the rim.
Well, what do you think about Mason Plumlee?
I don't mind Mason Plumlee. I don't mind him. I like this game, strong.
What about Daniel Tice, baby?
Tice is always welcome. I would just hate I would hate playing him for 5 minutes just for him to get 10 fouls again,
Oh, yeah, they pick on him.
Seems inevitable, man.
Yeah, the Celtics can't afford to have a guy get picked on by the refs.
Yeah, no, they can't. Real quick on the Bruins, is it just recency bias with McAvoy? Is that all you have him on the table? And losing a defenseman like that would be tough, but he did perform like crap.
So here's the deal. I called him McAverage one night because I heard so much about Charlie McAvoy. Hey, he's the next guy. And I watch him, and I'm like, what's he do that's great? Now, listen, in 2018, he was elite. He was amazing during their Stanley. Like when I think about some of Charlie, like when I think of Charlie McAvoy's runs, I do think he was a slow starter. And I'm trying to think of the year in particular now that I'm going back on it. But for the most part, he has turned it around. There was some parts where I looked at him and said, "What is this? Where is the big value here with this guy?" But I would say over time, he is. I at least see what he's done, but I would like to see more goal scoring.
I think what hurt him a little bit too was he came on strong. It was his rookie year. He came on the playoffs, right? He had a good showing, and then just hasn't really.
And I got the years. The years wrong. So so I was thinking 18, but I want to say it was 2021. That was when I thought he really started turning it around. Because it was 17, 18. Yeah, 18, 19. He was pretty decent. But I just want more scoring from the guy. Like last year, he had his highest goal scoring season, 12. He had 10 2 years ago. Just need more.
I'm with you. Don't forget, too, the Bruins have to re-sign their favorite defender, Grizzlick. They have to have that money aside.
Out. See you later. I know he's from Charlestown, bro, but you can take the town elsewhere.
We have to sign him to sit him in the playoffs, man. Come on, you have to have the money aside.
Okay, Benny, you just nailed it. They have guys that can play in the regular season, right? They have Grizzlick, Heinen, Zaka, they're loaded with them when it gets to the playoffs. So when we're talking about a big man for the Celtics, right? It's just across sports. They have to get somebody to start the season that can help them at the regular season and maybe contribute long term if Porzingis doesn't come back. So we can talk about Tice and all these other guys like Drummond and whatever. I think they need more of an upgrade because you don't know about Porzingis long term. So I don't want the Grizzlick or the Heinen level of basketball player.
I'm with you. It just cracks me up with Grizzlick. But yeah, no, you're right.
I've been yelling about Grizzlick for 7 years. After every playoff game, I'm like, this guy.
Oh my God, it's the same thing. You shouldn't stand out that badly for negative reasons, and he's just awful.
Well, he's from Charlestown, Everyone likes him.
Yep. Thanks, man.
All right, buddy. Have a good night. I'm getting tweets about the guy that was drafted by the Anaheim Ducks. Sounds drunk. So we'll look on. I'll look on the socials to see if anything is out there on this man. Macklin Celebrini. Oh God, hockey names Stenberg. Oh man,
all the consonants.
Should we try this one?
Go for it.
Artem Levashinov. to the Blackhawks. Number 2 pick.
Probably as good as anybody could say, right?
Number 3, Anaheim, Beckett Senecke. What do you think? Or is it Senecke? Sennecke.
Senecke?
Senecke. Okay.
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay. How about this one? Caden Lindstrom. There's a bunch of Lindstroms in the league, right?
That sounds correct.
Some played for like Philly, right? Like I don't know why.
Yeah.
Lindstrom.
Lindstrom is
Nicholas Lindstrom.
Is a name that sounds very familiar.
Feel like I know that name.
Very Nordic, but very correct.
Okay. Well, there are your top 4 picks in the NHL draft tonight. And, a return to somebody. Somebody returned to Boston. I can't watch it. You can't either unless you get Apple TV. But we'll tell you who it was as we're mixing in everything tonight here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on The Sports Hub.
He played for $775,000 last year, which is the league minimum. I wouldn't give him a dime more, by the way. You want him back, you keep him back at $775,000. That's what I do. So if they extend him, fine. But here's, when it comes to an approach, they're going to draft their picks, first, fourth, fifth, sixth round tonight. And then Sweeney, what's he going to do after they lock up Swayman? Elias Lindholm should be the guy, 3-zone dependability. He's a good fit for the system. And the projection, according to The Athletic, is 7 years, $55 million. Sure. On defense, Brady Shea, and he's a left shot, 5-on-5 penalty killing defender with faceoffs. You know what Mason Lowry is doing? You got Andrew Peak for 2 more years. They think Shea's projected to be about 7 years, $52 million. It's a lot of money between 2 players, if you ask me. But what do I know? Anyways, get him. It's an upgrade. No matter what. You lock up Swayman, you can get a top center, do it. I think you should get 2 offensive players. Why the need for Shea? If you're going to get Shea, you're moving on from Lindholm or Carlo or both. I don't know. But they've been developing defensemen for a long time. Guys can come right up and play. Wotherspoon's doing it now. And I also think their bottom 6, the Bruins, they have guys that can play. Lauko, a ton of these guys can just come up there. They've done it. They fill roles. They do a good job. Brazeau, right? That's another one right there. You just brought Kastelik in. Like, there's your bottom 6 right there. The 4th line. Done. All under $1 million. See ya. Why do you need to bring back Heinen for more than $775,000? They're trying. They want to be aggressive. Sweeney said that. And when a general manager has money to spend in the NHL, they do it. Because of the cap. Last year, let's be frank, they got rid of guys. They dumped salary. They couldn't re-sign Bertuzzi and Orlov and those guys. Right? Hall goes. They dumped his salary. They bring in Van Riemsdyk and Shattenkirk and guys like that for $1 million. It worked. It worked in the regular season. It didn't work in the playoffs. You have to look beyond the second round of the playoffs. Actually, the Bruins, really, it's lucky that they even get out of the first round sometimes. But I don't know, you score more goals, maybe you advance to more rounds. More shots, more goals, more rounds. Pretty easy concept. The Sweeney and Neely concept of goaltending and defense, it works. It has won. But you still need to score goals. You still need to score goals. And I told you, 12th in the league last year. They need to be in the top 10. They need to be. And the Draisaitl, it's on there. It's there. I don't think they do it, but it's there. We're going to talk to Shawn Hutcheon coming up in just a little bit. It's from the 4th period. And tonight's the draft, so he can talk about a bunch of other stuff that's going on throughout the NHL. But let's take a couple of calls here at 617-779-0985. We got Matt. He's in Tewksbury. What's up, Matt?
Yeah, I told you, 12th in the league last year.
Hey, Matt.
Hey, what's up, Joe? Sorry, we turned the radio down.
I heard my voice.
Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing? It's quitting time. It's Friday.
How you doing?
See, I was listening to talk about the concerts, and so I want to talk about Jimmy Buffett. And I had seen him a bunch. Big fan, R.I.P. But there's a show, you can't get blacked out. Because here's what happens. I had some hurricane. You guys drink hurricanes? You ever had a hurricane?
Oh, I've had a hurricane, bro. I had them in. You know what they make about New Orleans? They're all over the place.
No, that's Pat O'Brien's. That's where they're famous. I had some hurricane mix from Pat O'Brien's. It had sat in the back of my car for 1 year. 1 year. It was just a mix, no alcohol. Yeah. It was just basically sugary juice for a year. And I decided it was a good idea to try some hurricanes out at the Buffett show at Great Woods. And I was a mess anyways at that point. I was sweating. It was hot. My hat was on crooked. I looked disgraceful. And the pictures were even worse. But this mix, combined with the alcohol, I was drinking it with dark rum.
Oh.
I wound up in a ditch, like in the parking lot. The parking lots are separated with like those little grass gullies.
Yeah.
I fell to the bottom of one, and instead of helping me, people were cheering for me.
Wow. Did you have what kind of footwear did you have on?
Probably sandals.
That's what I mean. You can't go to a concert in sandals. You learned. You can't. No. Rule. You can't wear those tongue sandals to a concert. That's your fault.
Okay, it wasn't the sandals is the reason I was at the bottom of that.
No, well, listen. It had something to do with it.
I would love to blame the.
If you're going
why
down,
are you cheering me?
good
why
footwear.
Are people cheering? How about people help me? People are like, yeah. I'm like, no. And so I paid like almost over 150, almost $200 for those tickets. Never even made it into the show.
Oh.
I woke up halfway through the show, and my friend I'm like, just take me home. Just get me out of here. And I was actually trying to throw up into a Poland Springs bottle, which was impressive.
So here's the deal. When you went home, were you upset that you missed the concert?
BS. I was furious with myself.
Yeah, mushrooms is
That's
also
the only one I've missed.
Mushrooms is probably another thing I would not recommend also at a concert.
Definitely not, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'll hang up and listen, Joe.
All right, buddy. Hey, thank you. Well, I think footwear would have... He doesn't want to blame the footwear. He blames the alcohol that was in his car for a year, the hurricane mix. You ever been to New Orleans, Matt?
I've never been in New Orleans.
Oh, boy. Country boy going to New Orleans, huh? Are you considered a country boy? I mean, you've been living here for how long now?
I've been here 4 years.
So you're adapting.
I'm adapting. My father's family is from the North Shore. So
that's right. Okay, so you go up to like Ipswich and all that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. I live near there.
I got like Marblehead. And
I live right. That's where I live.
Beverly.
I'm over there.
Yeah, all those places.
Roast beef gone every corner.
That's where my grandparents were from. And they moved to Philly, and that's how that.
So you left the North Shore to Philly, and then somehow you ended up in West Virginia. You worked in West Virginia, I remember.
Just regular Virginia.
Oh, regular.
Yeah, southeastern.
Like where
Virginia.
Sam Hauser went to school.
Well,
the Cavaliers. Where is that school?
That's in Charlottesville. That's like Western Virginia.
Bro, do we need to pull up a map? Where's Randy Moss from?
Randy Moss?
Yeah.
He's from West Virginia.
West Virginia.
He went to Marshall. That's West Virginia.
Okay.
I'm from Virginia Beach.
Virginia Beach.
That's southeastern Virginia.
Okay. Where's Virginia Tech?
That's Blacksburg. That's an hour west of Charlottesville.
Okay. So I'll keep going further and further away.
Yeah. That's
Joe versus the map.
Yeah. So Charlottesville is like 3.5 hours west of where I'm from, and Blacksburg is like 4.5 west.
By the way,
towards the Panhandle.
Okay. Yeah, you're Panhandle Matt. Panhandle Matt. Do you have any hats that are panhandle-ish?
I don't have any panhandle hats.
Many panhandlers on the corners on my way to work back in the day. Anyways, we're going to talk to Shawn Hutcheon coming up in just a little bit, get his thoughts on everything happening. And before we do that, footwear is important, everyone. If you're going to a show, don't wear those those tongs I'm talking about? They're those little flip-flops that you put on, but they just go in between your big toe and your second toe.
That's what I'm wearing right now.
They're going to rip. They're going to rip. I'm telling you now. They're going to break. Matt, they're going to break. And guess what? We're going to break here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Bruins are on the clock beginning at pick number 25. So if anything should happen in the meantime, we'll have that for you here. But anything goes tonight, 617-779-0985. The footwear thing, I'm telling you, it's important, especially in the summer. If you're a listener, I mentioned that I now go water croc full time. I've always been out on Crocs. I have mocked people for wearing Crocs. I am out on Crocs, but here is where I am not out on Crocs. They're an incredible water shoe. An incredible water shoe. And I don't knock it until you try it. But I like slides. I wear slides. But you know what? Slides, you'll have an issue. So footwear is extremely important when it comes to the summer. So we got that on the table. We're here until 11 o'clock tonight. We got the NHL draft on as well. And we'll go to the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline right now. We'll welcome in Shawn Hutcheon. He's of the fourth period. Hockey guy. You watching the draft right now, Shawn? How's it going, bud?
I'm doing well, Joe. Thank you for having me on. And yes, I do have the draft on the television.
Can you give me like an update on some of these kids? I know the NHL draft isn't as highly covered as like the NFL draft or even the NBA draft for that matter. But can you just tell us about some of the kids at the top, Celebrini, these guys? What do you have on the first couple of picks tonight?
Oh, first couple of picks. Well, Macklin Celebrini is a player who is just an outstanding hockey player. He can do it all. Big kid, great size. He can skate really well. He played at Boston University as a 17-year-old, so that tells you something for people who follow the game, of course, that, as well as yourself. I know that tells you something right there. It's really difficult for a freshman. If you have a freshman who's under 19, 20 years old now in college hockey, that says something about the player. And Celebrini just lit it up. He was not only the Hockey East Rookie of the Year, he was Hockey East Player of the Year, and he was the Hobey Baker winner for the best college hockey player in the country. So he's a player who is a great ad for the San Jose Sharks. He may end up taking one more year at Boston University, and then he'll be able to step right into the NHL and make an impact.
Where is he as far as Connor Bedard, right? Like, I watch Bedard. I'm a huge card collector, so anything that I found of Connor Bedard this year, I kept. I feel like he's going to be the next guy. But, as far as those two on a level, how would you rank what Celebrini is?
They're two different types of players. Bedard is a smaller player, a faster player, a little quicker on his feet. But I would, if you get the chance to start collecting those Celebrini cards, I would start to do so. He has just great acceleration. He has great hockey sense. Makes plays, scores goals, knows how to get into openings so that he can receive a pass, get a shot on goal. And a lot of times he has the type of shot that more often than not, it's going to go in the net.
All righty, Shawn Hutcheon joining us here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. So, obviously, the Bruins will be on the clock at pick number 25 today, but what did you think of the Linus Ullmark trade from Boston to Ottawa? And another part of the question, did they get enough? Would they have gotten more if they could have gotten rid of him at the trade deadline?
That's the thing. We all knew it was coming. Nobody wanted it to come, but we all knew that it was coming. Just because this is the age of the salary cap in the NHL. So with players with 10 free agents on the team, no, actually 11, they had 9 or 8 unrestricted free agents going into this summer and 3 restricted free agents. So, and it meant that they needed to clear some space to bring back some players, and they need to bring in some players from other teams who are free agents. So they needed to clear some space in the salary cap. And Linus Ullmark's contract at $5 million per season, 1 year remaining. His contract was the one that had to go. Unfortunately, we all know what a great goalie tandem he and Jeremy Swayman became in the 3 years that he was here and the 2 years that Jeremy was here. So it has been here. Probably the best goaltending duo in the NHL. But as I said, it was sad to see him go. Did they get enough for him? I think the key centerpiece is the first-round pick in this draft tonight. It is the 25th pick. It was their pick originally. They traded it to Detroit in the Tyler Bertuzzi trade, and then Detroit traded it to Ottawa for Alex DeBrincat, and then now it's back with the Bruins. But that's the centerpiece, I believe, of the trade. And then they did pick up goaltender Eunice Korpisalo, who has had a decent NHL career, hasn't played on the best teams with Columbus and with Ottawa, had a few games last season after being traded to Los Angeles. Did well there. He went 7-3-1 with the Kings. Overall, for his career, he doesn't have a winning record. But if he's playing behind a structured defensive team like Boston, that could change. So I'm willing to wait and see on the goaltender, Korpisalo. The forward they picked up, Mark Kostelic, a big center. He wins faceoffs. He wins over 50% of his faceoffs every season. Skates well. He's going to be a bottom six forward, probably a fourth-line center, maybe third, but I think he's projected more to be a fourth-line center. Doesn't score a lot, but he's the type of player. He's out there. He's physical. The team needs a physical entity added to it, especially in this Atlantic Division with the Florida Panthers winning the Stanley Cup. They're a physical team, and Toronto is looking to get more physical. So all the teams are looking to add that physicality, that toughness, that grit to their lineups again. And Bruins did that in picking up Mark Kostelic.
All right, we're talking to Shawn Hutcheon. You can check out his work over at the Fourth Period. And I wanted to just ask you this, Shawn. When it comes to the Bruins roster, the way it's constructed, we know Korpisalo is back now. But do you like the fact that they have, when you look at their goaltending and defense, they have almost $38 million tied into their goalie in defense. They were 12th in the league last year in scoring. Do you think that needs to change? Do you think they need to put more money into, a little bit of forward, centers, things to that degree, and less on the back end?
Yes, absolutely. I think with the goaltending right now, as we say, we see what they have. Korpisalo is at $3 million per season. Jeremy Swayman, it looks like he's going to be at $8 to $9 million per season for the next 7 to 8 years. So they're all set in goal. On defense, it's a good, strong, mobile defense. They may lose the 3 free agents in Derek Forbert, Matt Grzelcyk, Kevin Shattenkirk. They're all probably going to go ahead and test the waters of the free agency market. But then again, it's a good defense when you look at it. It's still the players who are coming back in McAvoy and Lindholm and Carlo, Lohrei, Wotherspoon, etc. Up front, you're right. They do need to add scoring, and they had a really good season. A lot of people don't think of Charlie Coyle and Pablo Zacha as being number 1, number 2 centers, but when it comes right down to it, you compare numbers with Patrice Bergeron and David Krejci over the course of a season. Coyle and Zacha outscored Bergeron and Krejci when they had their final season here in Boston. So there's a bright future with centers when you look at Coyle and Zacha. Morgan Geekie took over center later in the season and in the playoffs, produced, really came on nicely. But still, the team needs to add a center a center with size and who skates well and can score goals. So and can win faceoffs. So it looks like through free agency, there's some rumblings that the Bruins are looking at Elias Lindholm from Vancouver, and he fits that mold. So we'll see what happens with that. But yes, you're absolutely correct. They do need to add some scoring up front.
All right, what do we got for Hutch's hunches on what the Bruins will do? You mentioned some of the big names, but is there anybody maybe that isn't talked about that you have a hunch with the Celtics team may do, and could they trade someone from the current roster?
They could. Not really hearing much along the trade front at this point, and it seems like a lot of deals could be made within the next day or two, and of course, free agency comes up on Monday. So we're not really looking at much into trades right now for the Bruins. It's more going to be, I think, along the lines of free agency. And as I say, that Elias Lindholm is a player that they're looking at. Don Sweeney the other day met with the media, and he said he's looking to add defense. If there was to be another trade, Jacob Chikrin is a player who they're interested in. There are rumblings out of Florida today that where they just won the Stanley Cup, but now they're looking at making some moves, and so Brandon Montour could be a defenseman who could be available through free agency. He'd be a real nice fit for the Bruins. So I'm thinking that those would be 2 players that would make a considerable contribution right away if the Bruins could bring them in. Another player, New York Rangers, Pavel Buchnevich. There have been a little rumblings here and there. He might be available from the Rangers. Nothing solid, but if he does become available, he's the center that I think the Bruins would make a really strong impact on the Bruins and fit right in, and he can score goals. He scores a lot of goals for the New York Rangers. If, off the top of my head, I believe in his last 216 games with the Rangers, he has scored 206 goals.
Wow.
In that, and so big, strong, powerful guy, wins faceoffs. So if there's a chance of getting him, I would really love to see him in black and gold.
Got one more for you. What's the status or future of Brad Marchand going into the final year of his contract? Do you have a hunch that they do an extension with him? Probably don't see him playing for another team, right?
Oh no. When the season ended, Don Sweeney was asked about an contract extension for Brad Marchand, and his answer was Brad will be a Bruin for life. And same thing. I mean, as Patrice Bergeron, you don't want to see anyone go anywhere else, retire when they've done so much for the Bruins and contributed so much for the Bruins and the community, as Brad Marchand has. And so I believe that maybe during the summer, but maybe during the season, we'll begin to get word that negotiations have began with Brad on an extension. And Brad Marchand, when he played his 1,000th career game that past season, he said he wants to play into his 40s, and something that he keeps himself in such great shape. That's a strong possibility. He's 36 now, so if he wants to play another 4 or 5 years, why not? And Don Sweeney intends to have him do that in a Bruins uniform.
All right, Shawn, before we let you go, I know you do some work with the fourth period, but you help a lot of players along the way trying to get up to the next level?
I do, yes. I'm a family advisor also. I have my own advising company called High-End Hockey Advising. I've been doing it for 8 years, and I work with players primarily from 15 years of age up through and including college players, and had some players go on to the pro ranks. Not the NHL yet, but East Coast League and American Hockey League. And it's really all about helping the players and their families map out their futures, where the players will be most successful, not only on the ice, but in the classroom as well, when they choose to go the college route.
I don't know, if you need a guy, you get a kid that's trying to make the route, you gotta contact Shawn Hutcheon, High-End Hockey Advising there. Shawn, appreciate your time, man. Thank you for joining us on draft night. What do you think the Bruins go? Do you got a name? Any names that you want to give us that we should be looking forward to for tonight? Pick 25?
For tonight's draft, maybe a couple. Sweetie said that there'll be, at that point, you want to make the selection of the best player available. And a couple of the players that really have stood out to me, doing a little bit of research over the last few days, and I won't go into all the stats and everything, but some names you might want to watch out for. Sam O'Reilly from the London Knights in Ontario Hockey League. Of course, O'Reilly, that's a famous name already with the Bruins, and pretty sure he would fit right in right away. There's Cole Baudouin from the Barrie Colts in the Ontario Hockey League. And look for maybe possibly a Camille Bednarek from the United States National Team Development Program. He's committed to play at Boston University, and he's a center with size, scoring ability, and a lot of speed.
All right, I'm going to keep my eye on those guys tonight. So if maybe I'll make a wager on it. Who knows? Maybe hit on one of those guys. He's Shawn Hutcheon. Check him out. Fourth period. Also HEH Advising as well. Shawn, appreciate your time, man. We'll do it again. We'll talk a little bit of hockey later on in the season.
I'm looking forward to it. Thank you for having me, Joe.
Thanks so much. He's Shawn Hutcheon. Check him out, everybody. Does a solid job over at the fourth period, joining us here on 98.5 The Sports Hub tonight. We'll take a quick break. And there's a bunch of things we're doing tonight. Everything is on the table. And the Celtics drafted a guy, an undrafted guy that I wanted to tell you about. And I have more thoughts on flip-flops. Sean Silver shared a story with me that I think I should share with you. We'll do that after the headlines here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
All right, at the NHL draft right now, bunch of guys going off the board. We'll draft stuff. Listen, it's tough getting a hockey guy on a summer Friday, and I appreciate Shawn for coming on, so thank you, sir. We'll see if any of those names he gave us hits tonight. Tried to pull up my betting app, but I couldn't find draft picks, so wonder what happened there. I wanted to share a flip-flop story. This from one Shawn Silver. I know you work a lot of games with Shawn, Matt. He has a good long story. He took a road trip to spring training with some buddies when he was like 21. But he forgot to pack sandals for Florida. So he grabbed a cheap pair of tongs at Walmart. They were at City of Palms Park watching the Sox. Had one of those guess your speed pitching things. I love those, by the way. Step up, throw as hard as he can, and as he releases the ball, the flip-flop breaks and he slips. But here's the funny thing. The pitch ricocheted off the metal cage surrounding the target, rebounds back 100 miles an hour, and nearly hits a little kid. He was embarrassed, and he blames the tongs. Out on tongs. I might, you know what? You know how Maz does tiers? Should I do a footwear tier in the summer?
Let's do it.
I mean, like, I mean, should we do a footwear tiers? I might need. Here's the deal, Matt. I don't know if I have all the resources in front of me. I might need like a segment to prepare for it. But if we're just gonna go off the cuff, I'm just gonna type in summer footwear and see what we got, baby. Let's do it. Oh, I'm getting it. All right, I'm trying to see. Here's the thing. There's a lot at stake here. If we're doing tiers, the worst tier is a tongue. I'm telling you right now. The worst right now, if we're talking summer footwear, tongue. You know what else stinks? The sandal. And what I mean by the sandal is the one that you got to put your foot into and then you got to like strap it. That one. Out. Out on those things. Those are low tier tongue footwear. Let's see. What else here? Trying to think what's after the, we have the tongue.
What about Crocs?
Crocs is a high tier.
High tier.
Very high, at least for me. Do you know what else is a high tier for me? A Sperry/boat shoe.
Oh, those are my favorite.
What could go wrong? You don't need a sock. It slides right on. It stays tied forever. And especially when you're a large man like me. You don't have to tie your shoes every time. You just put them right on. There's no sitting down. There's no struggle.
You do have to break them in. Otherwise,
you do
get blisters. So
I've gotten blisters.
You have to like wear the socks for a little while beforehand.
I made the mistake one time. I forgot my Sperry's on a trip to Maine. Went to the outlets at Kennebunk. Went to the old Sperry store. Decided to walk around Portland with a new pair of Sperry's, and man, did I get blister. Maybe the chat can help me a little bit here. There's also barefoot. You know what? Out on barefoot. You know why? The pavement, the sand is hot. Maybe there's glass. Maybe there's an accident. I don't know. You don't want dirty feet. I don't want to have blisters. Barefoot, out. Low tier. Low tier.
The best are like the closed-toed sandals.
A closed-toed sandal is very good. That you don't have to strap in. I don't want to. I want to slide my toe in.
Okay.
As a sandal, with no strap. Here's tier 3. Slides. A slide can be deadly. You know why?
Like shower shoes?
Yes, shower shoes, exactly, like a slide. But you don't want to wear those in the shower. Maybe they can give you a little fungi. Maybe there's a little something there. I'm out on people who wear sock with slide. Out on socks and slide.
Yeah, why are you wearing socks with those? Nobody should do that.
Brokerage Babe is saying nothing wrong with the sandal. What's wrong is the tongue. My size 16 and one of those tongs is ripping that thing out. And I just told you the Shawn Silver story. He tried to do a fast pitch and a tongue, and it slipped and fell. And when you go into a concert, footwear at a concert, it's sneaker. Footwear at a concert is a sneaker. Do you know who wears slides all the time? Dan Lifshotz. Really? All the time. Really? Year round, I feel like I see him in slides. Did I miss it? Oh, I missed an actual water shoe. Here's why I'm out on a water shoe. Because it doesn't slide on. It's not, you actually have to get it a size smaller than your foot to fit on it, because if you get it the size of your foot, it's going to be too big. So between the barefoot, the slide, the tongue, what else did I mention? The strap-on sandal. Sperry's the best. Sperry/boat shoe is the best summer footwear, but Crocs is the best water shoe.
You don't want to get the Sperry's wet, though.
Don't want to get your Sperry's wet. No, I one time, a snowstorm, went outside of my Sperry's. Guess what? Ruined.
Like for a boat shoe that you also can get wet, I would say like those Keen sandals that are closed toe and they do strap in the back, but they are great for all purpose.
Closed toe sandal, huh?
I went
kind of like I would call it like a Jesus looking shoe. Some like how do I you know what I'm out on too? The Newport closed toe leather. Out. That's too much for me.
Well, anything leather is not waterproof.
I don't want that either. Now I'm just looking up shoes. They're going to retarget me all night long. We were supposed to do a sports show here. But you know what? It's the Summer Friday, and I don't care anymore. I'm now going to talk about shoes for the summer that I hate. And now I'm reading the chat. A tong is a different kind of sandal. The tong is, yes. The tong is an awful... I should start making my own tongs because they're sold everywhere. Joey Tongs. The sandal is much better. Prince Humperdinck is wondering what's happening. I'm reading the chat. I do get them in Maine, and I wear them all summer long.
Well, in that case, how do you define a sandal? Because I feel like the sandal is the tong, like, for the most part.
Nope. Not for me. Not for me. It's either a... What other footwear do you have for summer?
I've got Sperry's. I've got the tongs that I'm currently wearing.
Probably have slides, right?
I have slides, but I haven't worn those in forever. And then I wear my sneakers and my golf cleats.
Golf cleats? Oh.
Only for golfing, though, obviously.
Spikes, right?
Yeah.
Do you wear them in the clubhouse or in the parking lot? When you put them on, where do you put them on?
I put them on the first tee.
Okay. So when I used to go golfing back in the day, everybody would do it in the back of their trunk, put them on, and then walk all the way in the middle and then through the clubhouse.
No, that ruins the cleats. That's why I put them on. I wear my sandals, tongs, until I get to the first tee, and then I put my shoes and socks on, shoes being the cleats.
I was told Sperry's makes rain boots. Now I'm interested. Hey, you know what we got next? We can continue this. But you know what we have next? In or out. We'll do that next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
Hey, Maz here. We all know how important it is to live a healthy lifestyle. I try to stick to a healthy diet, exercise, and of course, I drink plenty of Bigelow tea. And it helps these pipes of mine stay in peak condition for the shows. So grab a mug full of your favorite Bigelow tea and
on the Sports.
Probably going with a younger player, right?
Probably, yeah.
Probably. So again, that's why I'm saying it. I think they're holding her out of it to let a younger player go while the women's WNBA or Olympics, whatever, went with the older player and not the younger player.
Like, isn't Diana Taurasi like
41 years old?
Yeah,
42, whatever. She's my age. But Caitlin Clark's not on the team? Out.
I wonder if the NBA or the WNBA rather has they don't have enough spots for both like Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark.
Because they went with the older player.
Yeah.
And the women's Olympic soccer team was like, this Alex Morgan, she's always in the news and everyone knows her. Why don't we go with the younger person? That's why I'm out on it. They'll miss her. You watch. But she's going to support her team, she said. Out.
All right, next up, Scarlett Johansson. She's going to star in the new Jurassic Park. In or out?
In. Now, here's the deal. The whole new Jurassic Park stuff, I don't like it. Chris Pratt stuff, I liked. Like when he was like, with the raptor and like, pet it and all that. That was cool. But Scarlett Johansson wants to be in Jurassic Park. Good for her. In. She said that she would let anything eat her.
It's a little odd.
So.
I feel like anything she wants to be in, she should be in.
And if she said she wants to be eaten, I hope she gets eaten. In on Scarlett Johansson in the new reboot of Jurassic Park.
I'd be all for it. All for it.
I wonder who would eat her.
All right. You got more?
No, that's good. That's it. I'm in.
Okay.
I'm in.
Up next, we got Kyle Filipowski brainwashed by his Mormon-affiliated girlfriend.
I don't know how to feel about this one. The Filipowski, all right, should I do it? Should I pull it up? Filipowski, Mormon girlfriend. Okay. So the girlfriend of Kyle Filipowski is accused of Mormon grooming. How do we know that? What is Mormon grooming?
I don't know. Do we know this?
I mean, supposedly she cut him off from his family. And guess where he's going to play? Utah!
Wow. He got drafted by the place that suits him the way that Bronny did.
Why does that make me laugh? I don't know how to feel about that one. I'm out because, like, did he really estrange from his family for his Mormon girlfriend? And then get drafted by Utah? Like, did Danny Ainge and Brad Stevens have a, hey, we really need a big Danny, but, we like this Shireman kid. But I don't know, he's trying to become a Mormon, Just better if you drafted him.
Does the girlfriend have pull in the Jazz organization?
I mean, I'm looking at her. His girlfriend's 28. He's 20.
Wow. That's a big difference.
Well, especially for college kids.
I never met anybody in their late 20s when I was in college.
Oh, I'm seeing all their photos. Disney World. They take every photo together. They groom the poor man to become a Mormon. Took him away from his family. Was she the babysitter? I got to look into this one. What else do we have? Well, I'm out. I'm out on the whole situation. I don't care if I'm in or out on what happened. I am out on this situation. But now I am curious if it was the babysitter.
All right, more to come. All right, next up, we've got In or Out, new season of Cobra Kai.
In. Do you know, I think it's a good show. I watched the first season. It's pretty good. So I'm in. And I just don't want to watch them fight karate. Right? Like, when was that movie? 40 years ago?
I'm not sure.
How old is this guy? Let me look him up.
I've never seen any of these flicks.
Cobra Kai is a show on Netflix. It's pretty good. It's in remember Johnny? He's like the star with Ralph Macchio.
Yeah, all right. I'm familiar with that.
So Ralph Macchio is 62. No.
Famously on trial in Alabama, Ralph Macchio.
Really? I'm unaware.
No, I was talking about My Cousin Vinny.
Yes, that's right.
Same actor.
And he
Sorry.
So wait, it was his buddy that wanted the court appointed that had the stutter, right?
Yeah.
I watched that the other night. Because they were like, how could the car peel out? Well, that kind of car didn't have the wheels.
I'm familiar with the original. I've just never seen any of the sequels.
I guess I don't want to watch him fight at 62. I'm out. But I do like the show. Anything else, Matt, tonight?
Yeah.
All right, what else we got?
Are you in or out on the Sphere?
So I think I'm in. I think I'm in on the Sphere. But can I just go to the Sphere? Does it have to be for something? Like tonight is the draft. Do I need, should I go for a show?
What would you go to the Sphere
Alice in
for?
Chains. Metallica.
So a concert.
Concert I would, yeah.
Okay.
Would I go for the NFL draft? Yeah.
I wonder what the background of the Sphere would be for the NFL draft. Would it be like a field?
What about a giant football?
A giant football? It would just be brown.
What about just a giant Sunday ticket? Kidding! By the way, that's a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
So one bar was pissed. I think it was called the Mucky Duck, I think it was called. And they're going to get paid. One bar complained about how they couldn't, the deal didn't work out or whatever, and then and all these other people started catching on. But the bars are going to get paid. You know that if you own a restaurant or a bar and you want to have a pay-per-view event, you can't just get it on one TV. You have to pay for all of them.
Really?
I'd see Tool. That's what some people in the Sphere are saying. I'd see Tool in the Sphere. So I'm in on the Sphere, but isn't it a little like, it's too much for me. Like, Vegas has so much. Now I get the Sphere.
It's like if a planetarium became a venue.
It's like Biodome. You ever saw Biodome with Pauly Shore and Baldwin? Oh my God, Matt!
Never saw it.
Yeah, the Biodome was like this safe place, safe haven, and then Pauly Shore and his buddy got stoned in there, and then they met the chicks in there and everything, and there's a whole movie about it. They lived in the Biodome.
When did this come out?
Not early 90s, mid to late.
Okay.
Like around Half Baked era.
All right. I would have been like 6.
I am old. I forgot that I'm old. 42 is not old, but I'm older than you.
You are, but 42 is not.
How old are you?
I am 32.
So you and Skaz is 30 and you're 32. Like when I bring up some references to Skaz, he's not aware. And I just brought up Biodome. And now I'm old.
Don't sell yourself short, Joe.
All right, let's do one more.
All right, one more. All right, we got the 4th of July coming up. In or out, ketchup on a hot dog. You're a food guy.
In. It's the only thing I want on my hot dog. I know that people do mustard, and I get it. I'll say this. Traditionally, I think mustard is what should go on a hot dog. I don't prefer mustard. I prefer ketchup. And I know people want relish and all that stuff. If we're just at a cookout and I had a choice of a hot dog or a grilled hot dog with a ungrilled bun or a grilled hot dog with a grilled bun, I would do both with ketchup. Ketchup only.
When did ketchup on a hot dog become so sacrilegious?
I don't know. I've been doing it since 1982. But people are offended.
Yeah, it's almost as if you're...
Now, if you go to Fenway and you get a dog or a Frank, they're going to give you a mustard packet, not a ketchup packet. So, like, I at least am aware that if I order a hot dog, they're going to give me mustard.
I feel like at Fenway, you just get a plain dog and you got to do it yourself at the condiment corner.
Do you know what COVID reminded me of? Remember how, like, you ever see The Naked Gun
Oh, I love the naked gun.
And remember when they order something, but you used to order it and everyone would pass it down in the row?
Yeah.
Does that still happen? Does that still happen?
I don't think so.
But remember how the Queen got a hot dog once and had to hand it down with her white gloves?
I hate ordering things when I'm in my seat, if that's what you're talking about.
Yeah. Or the guy's like, hot dogs. You're like, two, man, two right there, two.
Yeah, and everybody's got to pass it down to the person in the middle of the row.
But does it still happen? Do you still pass? Does pass still happen?
I feel like you have to.
Do you want someone touching your wieners?
I mean,
hot dog wieners.
Aren't they usually wrapped in foil?
Still, do you want them touching them?
If it's in foil, I guess it doesn't matter, but...
I'm not like a germaphobe or anything. I feel like we'll never see that again after that time of our lives. I apologize for putting ketchup on my hot dog, but I am not sorry. Thank you, Bruins Luchador.
I feel like there's nothing wrong with that.
I either go naked or I go ketchup.
I like onions on mine, which you can't ever get unless you're at home. And I don't really ever make hot dogs at home.
Do you know what else I put ketchup on that people shame me for?
Mac and cheese?
Eggs.
Eggs. Okay.
If I got some scrambled eggs, I put ketchup on them. What do you put on your eggs?
Salt and pepper.
So you just go dry?
I like my eggs sunny side up with just salt and pepper. But I will eat scrambled eggs if that's the only option.
So you scrambled will be the only option, but you'd put salt and pepper, but normally you just over easy or something like that.
Correct.
So you a corned beef hash guy?
Yeah, I do like
a little runny egg on top?
Yeah, I do like corned beef hash. I don't order it often. I'm usually a simple man. I just get bacon and eggs and toast if I'm at a diner.
You ever done hot sauce?
Yeah, I'll do hot sauce every now and then. But I usually reserve hot sauce for chicken or something like that. I feel like eggs are kind of perfect the way they are for the most part.
Oh, yeah. I could eat an egg without a condiment on it. What do we call that? A raw dog?
Maybe. I'm also the weird guy who, everybody loves cake and ice cream together. I'm like, no, I don't want any of this touching. I'm that guy.
I don't want lettuce touching any of my stuff. Like a taco, lobster roll, nothing.
Lettuce on a lobster roll?
Yeah, I got one the other day, and I go, what is this? I had to take it off.
I've never seen lettuce on a lobster.
Yeah, they open up a hot dog bun, put a piece of lettuce on it. That's just garnish. You don't even need it. And then they put lobster in it.
Common.
Do you put ketchup on your home fries?
I usually do hot sauce on home fries. The only thing that I usually use ketchup for is just regular French fries.
Here's what I got for you. Chicken and waffles really isn't big around here. I don't know why.
Oh, it's so big back home.
That's what I was going to say. Is there bone in or bone out on chicken and waffles down south?
It's both.
What's the proper way?
The proper way? It would be bone in. Bone in chicken thigh on top of a waffle covered in syrup.
But, why do you want bone?
Because that's where all the flavor is with the chicken.
This is
I rarely get boneless chicken when I'm even making stuff at home because the bone is where most of the flavor is.
Well, you're going to be interested in Murray's musings tonight.
Looking forward
I
to
have something that's been going on in regards to chicken. All right, well, we got to go to break. We'll get you the headline. We're late. I'm sorry. It's my fault. It's Friday. And we're going to talk to Dr. Football coming up in a little bit as well. I'm Joe Murray here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
The local call of the game is right. WBC-FM at HD Boston. Boston's home for sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group station. Sports Hub headlines.
All right, Red Sox trail San Diego right now 9-2 over at Fenway Park. It was supposed to be the return of Xander Bogaerts, but he is injured. So therefore, he is not playing. Macklin Celebrini, first pick overall in the draft tonight. Bruins are on the clock at pick number 25 tonight. Where are they right now? Scrolling. All right, so we're 16 picks deep. 10 more to go. 9 more to go until the Boston Bruins make a selection. Headlines, they are brought to you by Awaken with Any Weight Loss. Don't put off losing weight this summer. Reach your goal during the easiest season for weight loss. Awaken 180, the official weight loss program of summer. I'm Joe Murray. Next update soon.
Boston, the greatest sports town in America.
We have a farm. I have about 200 pigs here.
We got to spill beers on each other without worrying about spilling beers on people.
Boston's home for sports. 98.5, the Sports Hub. Around here, we call them the Joe Murray Pre-Party. It's Felger and Maz, afternoons right now. Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
All right, back here, 98.5, the Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. Happy Friday, everybody. 9:55 tonight, Murray's Musings. Joe and Jim Murray would absolutely murder this social media stuff. Yes, we are trying, sir. We are trying. Ryan Beaton's in the chat. Said traffic was light today. See? It was light today. Told you traffic was a breeze. I am out on lettuce. I am going to tell the world. You know what I should make? I should make merch. MURRCH. Merch. That is just a sticker, right? That has a head of lettuce with a big, no sign. Just lettuce with a no sign. And I should just write Knights on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Would people buy that? Would people be in on that? A sticker with a head of lettuce with a no. Might do that. We will talk to John Sarianides coming up in just a little bit. From New England Football Journal, I got some Patriots takes that I wanted to get out there tonight. Wanted to catch up with John. I haven't talked to him in a little bit. So we'll do that coming up next. I'm Joe Murray here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. More Joe Murray. On the way on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
If you need tires, think Town Fair Tire. Thinking name brands? We have them all. Thinking price? We beat the competitors. Free services? We have those too. For the guaranteed lowest price, nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Town Fair Tire. Hey, it's Beetle from my Ram dealer, 495 Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Lowell. Head to 495 for their Make This the Summer of Ram sales event and save up to $11,000 on all new Ram 1500s, 2500s, and 3500s. Or choose the lowest lease payments of the year on all Ram trucks. Plus, every new truck purchase comes with 2 years no-charge maintenance. Go see my friend Tony and the team at 495 Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Lowell or visit online at 495ram.com. Tell them Beetle sent you.
Hey, imagine sitting in the yard enjoying a summer evening and all of a sudden, smack! You've squashed a mosquito the size of a pterodactyl and have a welt the size of a baseball. That is no way to spend the summer. Call Mosquito Joe. He'll take care of all those pesky insects with a synthetic or botanical treatment that'll leave your yard smack-free. Take advantage of the $49 first spray or a 10% season discount with a prepayment. No contracts and service is fully guaranteed. Call Mosquito Joe, 855-ASK-A-JOE, online at mosquitojoe.com. Outside is fun again.
Don't let the weather limit your passion for golf. Go to Winslow's Kitchen Bar and Range. State-of-the-art Top Tracer driving range with shot tracing technology and Power Tee ball automation. Whether you're a golf enthusiast or a weekend warrior, you'll love Winslow's 16 heated bays with full-service food and drink, trivia nights, and live music in the clubhouse. Winslow's open 7 days a week, rain, snow, or shine at Green Harbor Golf Club, 624 Webster Street in Marshfield. Book your bay at greenharborgolfclub.com/Winslow's. Winslow's, because good times and golf shouldn't have an off-season.
Aware Recovery Care provides a long-lasting solution for those suffering from addiction to drugs and or alcohol. Working with you in your home, in your comfort zone and on your schedule. By offering addiction support in the home, we help individuals develop the skills and daily habits crucial for staying sober, all while staying connected with loved ones and the community. Let us help you recover where you live. To learn more, visit awarerecoverycare.com. That's awarerecoverycare.com.
Kick back and relax at the Sunset Tiki Bar and Grill in Westford, Mass. Enjoy delicious tiki menu offerings and sip on award-winning cocktails at the coolest place to chill this summer. Check us out at sunsettiki.com.
The pros know nobody beats FW Web. With extensive inventory, personalized service, and a fleet of trucks across the Northeast, FW Web supports all customers, from one-van contractors to large facility operators. For planned projects, emergency jobs, or maintenance, FW Web has what you need, when and where you need it. For plumbing, heating, HVAC, refrigeration, propane gas, and PVF jobs. With over 100 locations, visit FWWeb.com to find one near you.
Hey, folks, get ready for the 4th at any of Atlas Fireworks' 4 New Hampshire locations. Talking about Amherst, Belmont, Newport, and Ridge. Visit atlasfireworks.com. Light up the night.
Must be 21 or older. Check with local police and fire department for fireworks allowed in your community.
Everybody knows Joe.
Just keeps getting better.
Joe Murray on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
For the whole world to see. So maybe I'll just buy the shirt. Maybe I'll make the shirt. You all can buy it. That'd be cool. Well, the Red Sox aren't doing well. Down 9-2, so you just turn them off and listen to me. Just come on over here. We're hanging out until 11 o'clock tonight. I got a good musings at the end of the hour. You don't want to miss that one. I got Joe Me the Money coming up in 1 hour. We're hoping to catch John Sarianides from New England Football Journal. Told him 9:20 tonight. See what happens. We've been calling him. He's pretty reliable. You know, Matt, I got a feeling it's our phones. Why do I feel like that? The two guests that we've called tonight, everything's gone straight to voicemail. It's not a you, Matt. It's not a you thing, Matt. I don't blame you.
This one's ringing at least. It just goes to voicemail.
Oh, it is. Huh. Do you think John fell asleep? Maybe I'll text him to call us. Well, I don't want to bother the man if he's sleeping. It's also Friday night. He could be out, and I'm asking him to be a guest on our show at night. So that could be a Joe problem. It could be a Joe problem. So maybe he'll call us. I got the, on the right, I have the draft on the left, they're showing the parade, which, again, it looked great. It looked cool, but I don't care. It was cool. And maybe another one next year. Speaking of that, I wanted to bring up some Celtic stuff that I didn't get to the table here a minute ago. But when it comes to the picks that the Celtics made, they have brought in an undrafted player, a 6'8" senior who played at Cleveland State. His name is Tristan Enaruna. He's a 6'8" senior, averaged almost 20 points a game, 6 rebounds and 2 assists. And his comp is Kyle Kuzma. And I was reading from a draft analyst who said that with the NBA draft approaching, there is one prospect that's a top 40 talent with zero buzz. That's Cleveland State's Tristan Enaruna. His scoring ability can translate to the NBA one day. He's also great athletic traits and defensive tools. And he's showcased over his 5-year career. Kyle Kuzma is the type of profile. And I think he's going to outperform his draft status. So this is someone that the Celtics have taken undrafted. That was, some people thought he was a top 40 pick. He didn't even get drafted. So they've had success on undrafted kids. Sam Hauser, number one. I'm just watching some highlights. He looks legit. He kind of reminds me of Larry Nance Jr., who just got traded today, but I see the Kyle Kuzma comp. So maybe Brad hit another one here. Let's talk to Ryan. He's in the car. Hey, Ryan.
Hey, how's it going?
How you doing?
I'm doing well. I want to talk about the Bruins, if you don't mind shifting gears. I don't know if you guys, I know we're still in the Celtics, but my problem with the Bruins is that I just don't think Pastrnak has what it takes to be the guy that's going to lead a team to a championship. He disappears in big games, and he's just not the one we want to have that's going to lead us. So I watch Barkov, I watch McDavid. I just don't see it with Pastrnak.
So you think they should do something with Pastrnak?
No, I just don't think that you want to build a team around a guy like that. I feel like if this team's actually looking to build for the future and he's the guy that's your main point, I just think it's going to work.
So what do they do with a guy who makes $11 million?
I mean, that's a question for Don Sweeney, not for me. But
but you're the one who doesn't like it.
I don't think it. I think that they need to start rebuilding. I just don't think Pasternak's the guy that you want to build with.
So you think that they should take steps back instead of steps forward?
The way the roster is constructed today, yes.
So does that mean that so if that's the case, then they should trade Jeremy Swayman?
I don't know if you want to trade. I mean, he's still young enough that.
Yeah, but what do you think you could get for him? What do you think you could get for Swayman? Aren't you better off just playing?
Not anything.
No, but aren't you just better off paying Korpisalo and bringing up Bussy and just if you don't want Pastrnak, then you might as well just trade Pastrnak, trade them all, right? Trade them all if you're going to just rebuild. My whole thing is this: you don't like Pastrnak. You don't.
I don't like Pastrnak, but you're saying sell the team. I'm not saying sell the team. I'm saying if you think this is a championship-winning team, you're crazy.
But who would trade? I am. I actually think they're closer than you may think. They've
closer than I think. What are you talking about?
They went to Game 6 of the semifinal last year.
I get that.
They have $23 million in cap space.
Okay.
They're going to add 2 premier scorers.
I mean, who?
They're going to try to. I don't know. Elias Lindholm, how's he sound? How about Steven Stamkos? You like him?
I like Steven Stamkos a lot, but I mean, based on their past history and their signings, Bolesky back in here again.
I'm trying to make sense here. They can't do anything about Pastrnak. They can't. He's locked in here. They can't do anything about it.
I mean, if they bring Draisaitl in, then yeah, that'd be great.
I wouldn't do that. I'd trade McAvoy for Draisaitl. Why would I trade Pastrnak for Draisaitl? I'd rather have Draisaitl.
No, I never said that.
I did.
No, everyone would. Why would you trade Draisaitl for for McAvoy? You crazy? Of course. Why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah, no.
McAvoy. I'm not saying he's damaged goods, but he's
okay. What if they had Pastrnak and Draisaitl? How would you feel about that?
I would feel a lot better.
Okay,
but I still don't feel like. I mean, their bottom 6 is embarrassing. I mean, their top 2 centers were Zacha and Coyle.
Yep.
They would have been bottom 6 centers on any other team that was in the Final Four.
And they performed better than Bergeron and Krejci a year ago.
I get that, but do you think that? I mean, Bergeron. I mean, do you want to relive that one? They were up 3-1 until he came back. I mean, I'm not saying Bergeron was the reason why, but I'm just saying that those guys weren't exactly at the peak of their careers.
Okay, here's the deal. You don't like Pastrnak.
I don't. No, I'm not saying I don't like Pastrnak. You're
okay. Then what are we doing?
I'm saying that he's not the guy that's going to lead you to a championship. He's on the same level as the top 7 players in the league in terms of forward production.
Okay, that's good, right?
Do you disagree or no?
I think that's good. I agree. I don't necessarily disagree. I just think it's good to have a top 7 guy.
Yeah, it's fine, but this team is not built that we can build from Pastrnak out. We have to either bring in several pieces that can support Pastrnak, or what are we doing? We're just going to be a middle-tier team for the next 5 to 10 years.
Would you bring Bertuzzi back to play with Pastrnak because they're friends and they played well together at one time?
Yeah, I like Bertuzzi, but the problem with Bertuzzi is he's not enough of a factor that's going to take you to the next, like, the upper echelon. Like, Marchand's getting older. He's like Marchand light. And Marchand's great. I love Marchand, but at the same time, like, he's not getting any younger. So now we're at the point where it's like, hey, you bring in Bertuzzi. Yeah, he's great, but he's not he's not at the same level that's going to take us above what Florida has.
Okay. Appreciate your call, Ryan. Another Ryan has a thought on Pastrnak. Let's talk about Pastrnak.
Listen, I think that last call is crazy. I just want to go back to the point where you just said about Bertuzzi, about bringing him back, and he said he doesn't push the needle. For example, Bertuzzi, when he was with the Bruins, he played 7 games. He had 5 goals. And when he was on Toronto, he had 1 goal. That Toronto roster is a lot better than the Bruins roster. Bringing someone like him back, awesome for Pastrnak. And he's bringing up the Pastrnak not in these big games. The names he named around him have teams that have like 2-3 stars on the team. The Bruins are doing this with 1.
Remember that walk-off goal that he had in the Game 7 to win it?
Yeah, right. What is wrong with people? Like,
they're not moving on from Pastrnak. They're just not moving on from Pastrnak.
Absolutely not. That'd be the craziest thing ever. Joe, love the show. I'm gonna keep listening. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. I kept saying you don't like Pastrnak, and then he kept saying me that's not what I'm saying. So then, Matt, did you pick up on any of that? Because one guy likes Pastrnak. Remember they won a Game 7 and advanced to the second round? Do you remember who scored that goal, Matt? I mean, were you working that night? I think it was David Pastrnak, wasn't it?
It was Pastrnak.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
it was.
Huh. Did you know that David Pastrnak averages a point per game in the playoffs?
Yeah, he's a good player.
In his career, he's good.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't get rid of him if I were the Bruins.
I probably wouldn't either. I would trade Charlie McAvoy for Draisaitl.
Oh, I would trade anyone for Draisaitl.
I would not trade Pastrnak for Draisaitl.
Okay.
You know why?
That's where we do.
Because I want them both.
Oh, that's true.
I want them both. I want scoring. I want the light I want that lamp lit all night long. Boo, 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 woo. I want Ric Flair woos all night long at the Garden. I want scoring. Score here. Score there. Score. Instead of this, pack it in. Who's going to score a goal? They're in every single game and nobody can shoot. I can't do that anymore. I can't do it anymore. Anthony's in Worcester. Hi, Anthony.
How we doing?
How you doing?
Living the dream.
Hey,
listen,
so.
I don't know that guy that you guys had on before, what the hell he was thinking, but...
Which one?
To get rid of a top 5 scorer in the NHL because he doesn't like him is the stupidest take that I've ever heard on your show in the entire time that I've listened.
That was a caller. It wasn't a guest that we had.
I mean, a call. Excuse me.
Okay.
That is somebody who clearly is, he reads a couple of headlines every once in a while and he thinks he knows the game. And just, I don't like Pastrnak. I don't think we build around him. Well, let's talk. You don't like Pavel Zacha. You said that he's a bottom 6 guy. You don't like Charlie Coyle. You said he's a bottom 6 guy. Yet Pastrnak had what kind of season for goals? What kind of season for points?
It was great.
With guys that essentially he's calling throwaways. So what is it? What kind of guy is Pastrnak at that point in time? There is not a person on the planet or a team in the NHL that wouldn't take him and sign him immediately if the Bruins put him on the market. That has got to be the dumbest take of any person that I've ever heard on the show, period, hands down.
I'm sorry that I put you through that.
Am I wrong?
No, but can I tell you something I used to complain about was
Go ahead.
David Pastrnak in shootouts, right? It drove me nuts. Like
No, I'm with you there. So that was the one thing I agree with you.
Well, here's
that
the
lazy
deal.
Little
Yeah, I hate it, but you know what? No, here's the deal. In the playoffs, it doesn't matter.
True.
Like here I am complaining about him in shootouts. But when it matters, they don't matter.
Right.
So
he plays an identical style to Ovechkin, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah,
with just less size.
I think his defense at times isn't great, but he's a little lackadaisical. Would you say with the puck at times around the blue line? But for the most part, you need that guy.
True, I agree 100%. But in the same respect that a lot of the times that he gets lax, think of the minutes the guy puts in. Every single game, he's the top line guy. He's the top minutes guy for his team. Same thing with McAvoy. And I do agree with you. I would, hands down, trade McAvoy for Draisaitl in a second. I love Mac, but Draisaitl is a whole different animal, and he's the kind of guy that would definitely be excellent on a line with, if you want to put Marchand or even, Pasternak, whoever you wanted to put up there with him, that guy would be phenomenal with him.
All right, Anthony, I appreciate you, sir. Has the Worcester
Appreciate you, boss. Keep it eating.
Worcester fireworks.
Stay away from that lettuce.
Out on
What's
lettuce.
that?
Worcester fireworks. That I heard.
Yeah, they're in my rear view now.
Oh, I can hear them in the background. Do you know that?
Not in this car. You can't.
No, I can.
No.
No.
There's no fireworks for me. I'm all set.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Take it easy.
Appreciate it. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah. I want goals. I want goals. Scoring. I want scoring. I want more shots, which leads to more goals, which leads to more wins, which leads to more rounds, which leads to more parades and championships. I want goals. None of this goalies who make $11 million. I want goals. Whoa, whoa. All right, we'll go to break. I'm Joe Murray. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub. Here's the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines.
All right, over at Fenway Park right now, Red Sox are losing 9-2. It was a bad night. Xander Bogaerts is back. Or was he? He didn't play, but he was there. And he talked, and he said no hard feelings. I would have hard feelings if I was him, though. But that's just me. Waiting on the Bruins now at the draft. We are at pick number 20. So the Bruins will pick in 5 picks. We're going to have it for you right here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. What else happened tonight? Oh, Deontay Murray traded from Atlanta. He's going to New Orleans for 2 first-round picks. Headlines, they are brought to you by Valvoline Oil Change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandOilChange.com for 15% off your next drive-through oil change. At Valvoline Oil Change, now open in Rainham, Reading, and Braintree. I'm Joe Murray. Next update soon.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5. You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Hey, it's Felger, and warm weather is here. And Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka are launching new lemonade flavors into their winning lineup. Black cherry lemonade, raspberry lemonade, and strawberry. Check out the starter 8-pack sold at bars, restaurants, and package stores near you. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka, sunshine in a can. Must be 21. Enjoy responsibly.
Choice is a good thing. Like what movie to stream tonight?
Want to watch a comedy?
Superheroes! Mystery! And now, with My Home from Verizon, you can finally choose what's in your internet plan and save big on the entertainment you love, like Netflix and Max for just $10 a month. Call 1-800-VERIZON and switch today. Netflix and Max with ads perk requires an eligible Verizon Home Internet VHI plan. Must be 18 years or older. Cancel anytime. One offer per eligible VHI account. Additional terms apply. Max and related elements are property of Home Box Office Incorporated.
Hey, it's Beetle. In the middle of having my basement finished, I woke up one morning to water seeping in all along my walls. Thankfully, I knew who to call. Mike Albert at Premier Basement Waterproofing. He was at my home in no time, and I know for a fact he's the only guy who could get the job done. My contractor was thrilled with the work because we could get the job back on track, and now I don't ever have to worry about
yards per play, they were third defensively. That's very good. But you dug in closer to the numbers and some of the DVOA numbers, which take into account every play, and they were middle of the pack with the legend Belichick. There's no world where the Patriots and Mayo are successful this year. None. Not even if Drake May turns into freaking C.J. Stroud. It's just not.
Money. Right now, for the Patriots to be the worst team, lowest amount of wins in the NFL, plus 345 on DraftKings. And I've bet it. I've put my money where my mouth is. Here's why I think the Patriots will be the worst team in the league this year. I don't think they have any studs at all. A bunch of ponies. A bunch. I don't think they have any horses. Maybe Matthew Judon's a horse. Maybe. Maybe Christian Gonzalez is a horse, but those horses have been in the barn for a little bit. So not ready to crown them. But the offense, I just screamed about more goals in the NHL and for the Bruins. The Patriots need more playmakers, more points, more yards, more touchdowns, less field goals. Here's the deal. Their field goal kicker right now sucks. Their offense is going with Jacoby Brissett this year. They've drafted multiple receivers. But their line, where have they upgraded? Where have they upgraded? Where have the Patriots upgraded? And if you're going to tell me it was Bill Belichick, you're wrong. I don't think Gerard Mayo can coach. That's my opinion. I'm waiting on that one. Waiting. They have no horses. They don't have any premier players. I can't wait until the top 100 list comes out to see if there's one offensive player on there. Because I think there's none. And in this league, you need to score if you want to win. You need to score. Last year, everyone loved the defense, right? Loved the defense. Well, the year before that, do you know what their defense did? They scored. Their defense scored touchdowns. The defense scored touchdowns. Last year, none. So if their defense can't score, they're not going to score. That's why I have them as the worst team in the league this year. And Jason McIntyre agrees with me. And Vegas agrees with me. I'm not rooting for the Patriots to lose. I work the games. I have to work them. So it's not that I'm anti-Patriot. I'm not. I used to be a season ticket holder. This is the first year I've given up my season tickets because nobody wants to go to the games anymore. Why? Because there's no star power. There's none. Someone asked, do we still have Nick Folk? No! They traded him for a pick. There's no horses. They don't have premier players. So therefore, they're not going to score and they're not going to win games. Now that the Patriots suck, the rest of the league has put them on notice. It's Chad Ryland for those that are asking about the kicker. Chad Ryland, remember him? Wide left, wide left, wide left. He can't score either. Joey Murray, you're crazy to give those up. What am I giving up? What did I give up? I'm not sure what I gave up. Well, you can join us in the chat. Here's one. Dave's in Rhode Island. Hi, Dave.
Hey, Joe. How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. Hey, so we're in the doldrum of sports. There's no more basketball, no football, really, and summer baseball sucks. So my question is, are you a Macho Man guy or a Hogan guy?
Well, here's the deal. As I get older, Hulk Hogan becomes more and more of a poser. He had creative control. He could have, if he wanted to be the champ, he could. The finger poke of doom, right? All those things. Hulk Hogan was a poser.
Oh, he's my childhood hero.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Mine too, and you know what? He sucks. How many moves did Hulk Hogan have? He had the power slam, the boot, and the leg drop. Give me another one.
Yeah, dude, it was ripping his shirt off.
Give me another move. You can't answer the question.
Invincible.
Give me another move. Give me another move.
Okay.
Give me another move.
No, the elbow, no, elbow. He dropped the elbow, and then when they were stunned, then he clotheslined him and dropped the leg. He had the elbow.
Nope. No. Who had the elbow? Macho Man had the elbow.
That was his signature move.
Macho Man had a double axe handle. Macho Man could play. Macho Man had the macho swing. Right. I have all the Hasbro figures. I know them all.
Dude.
What was better? What was better? Macho King or Hollywood Hogan?
Oh, no, Macho King by far. I mean, Joe, this was just a ruse. I just wanted to get you talking about fucking Hogan and Macho Man.
You swore. So now I got to hang up on you. Good catch there, Stenberg. That guy, he said it's a ruse to fire me up. You want to know what just happened on WWE? It's on television right now. Tyrese Halliburton just came out for Indiana. And then they're in New York tonight, Matt Stenberg, at the Madison Square Garden. So who came out with a chair? Just guess.
John Stark.
Jalen Brunson.
Oh, okay.
No, I like the John Starks. John Starks, good guess. Good guess. Good guess. It was Jalen Brunson. But still. So now we're going to get a Tyrese Halliburton versus Jalen Brunson steel cage match? The loser has to lose to the Celtics? Is that what it is? With Porzingis coming off top of the rope? Who would be the best wrestler in the Celtics? Missoula. Missoula.
When he gets his meniscus fixed, yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. He was coaching with a torn meniscus. Nobody's talking about that.
John Stark, Oklahoma State legend, says our intern Bryson. Former intern Bryson, now Oklahoma City employee. Oh, I loved Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig. The perfect plex. That guy got me. Hogan is such a poser. What did he do? What did Hogan do? He was a real American. He came to the ring. He ripped the shirt off, told you to say your prayers and eat your vitamins. He would give the boot. He'd go home, and that's it. He did nothing. He buried everyone in his way. He buried everybody. Macho Man was smaller. He needed to do more. He had a nice little side piece on him, didn't he? He was Macho Man, Macho King. He could announce. Hulk Hogan couldn't announce. The snap into a Slim Jim guy. Yeah, give me the beef. Dump it. We had one of those earlier. I'm sorry, everybody. Speaking of dumps, you know what we got next? Murray's Musings here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
Doyon's 4th of July sale is happening now.
You want a random take? Murray's got all sorts on stuff in the world unrelated to sports. So sit.
That used to be a wicked line in a rap song. Don't give me that. What was the song? I Got a Man? What your man got to do with me? I'm not trying to hear that. Well, it's Murray's Musings tonight, everybody. Thank you for joining us here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. It's a summer Friday. Thanks to everybody joining us in the YouTube chat. I can confirm that John Sarianides is everything is good. He feels. I figured I would. Usually, I try to vent about things that are on my mind, Matt. That's kind of what this is. But I saw a story that I wanted to share, and it's something I've been thinking about for a while here. I commend the man that will not change the price of the Arizona iced tea can of 99 cents. Like that man, he did an interview recently, and they were like, why will you never change the price? And he goes, we have no debt. We make money. We have jobs. We don't need to fire anybody. Why change the price? And like I saw the guy, and I was like, I like you. He goes, if it ever happens, maybe we'll raise it. But right now, we're not raising it from 99 cents, not until I'm alive. So another thing that I know a lot of people love, I have given out my rotisserie chicken trick. What I do is I buy a rotisserie chicken, Matt. I put it in one of those big Ziplocs, you know, the big ones, and I just pull the bones out. And it's all just fluffy, loose chicken, no bones, in a bag. And I can do a lot of things with it, right? I can make chicken tacos. I could make a chicken dish. I could do a chicken broccoli ziti if I want to at some point. What would you do?
Do you save the bones? Because you could make a great,
I don't boil
great
them.
stock with it.
I don't. I throw them away because I save the bones for Henry Jones. That's what I do. It's a guy who eats the bones. But I wanted to bring up Costco. You go to Costco?
My family had a membership way back in the day when I was like 10, but that was my only Costco experience.
Well, Costco has a rotisserie chicken that's $4.99. Good price, right? You could probably feed a family of 4 with a rotisserie chicken for $4.99.
I feel like most grocery store rotisserie chickens are so good.
Love a rotisserie chicken.
Because you can do anything with them. You can make like buffalo chicken dip. You could just
anything.
Eat it as it is.
I'll eat it off the bone, baby. Well, Costco customers, they are fuming over a key change to the $4.99 rotisserie chicken. So it's $4.99. You can't complain about that. But people are going to social media to gripe about the new plastic bag wrapping that has replaced the old plastic containers. People were accustomed, you know what I'm talking about, right? That like plastic container clamshell, but at the bottom it's kind of thick with like a tinfoil almost.
Yeah, it's like you got the black undercarriage and then like the plastic top.
Yes.
Top. Yeah.
Like, for example, Market Basket, what they do is they put the rotisserie chicken, but like in a saran wrap. So it's like it's wrapped. Well, I saw recently that there were crabs wrapped and the crab got out of the wrap. So I'm actually kind of out on the wrap. I want the shell. Now, when I go to Market Basket and do my grab and go, I get the little the bag of chicken tenders, right? Or the whatever they put in there. Little bag. You know what I'm talking about, right? That's what they put the seasoned rotisserie chicken in now. And people are in an uproar about it. And the reason why they're doing it is Costco said that the change would reduce plastic by 75%. The company said the new wrapping also allows it to ship more chickens per truck delivery, resulting in 1,000 fewer trucks on the road every year. But people are complaining because it's not in that little plastic cover in bottom.
Are they mad because it's inconvenient or they're environmentalists?
So that's a good question. Costco is gradually introducing the new plastic bag wrappings when it uses up the remaining inventory of the hard plastic shell containers. So some places still have it. Some places don't. But despite the inflation all over the country, their rotisserie chicken is still $4.99. So I say to these people, what is the problem? They didn't change the price. All they did was put it in a bag. So here are some of the quotes. these new bags, if you have a loose chicken, is it leaking? Another Redditor, because this is, of course, where I find all these things. Another Redditor complained that the chicken juice spilled all over the trunk of my car. I'm sorry that your chicken juice spilled all over the trunk, but whose fault is that? Shouldn't you have put it in a bag? Shouldn't they have been more proactive than what do they just think that they can grab the chicken and put it in the trunk?
I mean, I have the reusable bags.
I use the reusable bag too.
I would put that in the bag so it would never spill over like the car.
I've had issues with the plastic one that they're talking about. Sometimes that doesn't close all the way and the chicken falls out. So I think sometimes you need to move the chicken to a container when you get home. You can't just leave the thing in the bag forever. Someone else wrote, I recently grabbed 2 chickens in the bag for the first time. Hated everything about it. So what does it now make the chicken not juicy? Does it change the chicken? Slick with juice on the display. Hands were covered in grease. No paper towels anywhere. That's your fault. I don't hate the chicken bag. I love the chicken bag. Angry customers all over Reddit. And here they are, less trucks on the road and saving time. That's a very attractive price. Just because you're thrown off by how it comes, that's a you problem, not theirs.
Would they prefer it not to be juicy? Because those things are juicy.
They are very juicy. You know, in 2023, Costco said it sold 137 million rotisserie chickens at its 600 stores nationwide. That was 20 more than the previous year. So what, now that it's in a bag, they're going to sell less chickens?
I don't think the chicken's the problem.
Matt, when it comes down to things that bother me in life, I'm starting to realize it's a Joe problem. Just like this rotisserie chicken. Sorry, it's not in the plastic container. Costco apologizes, but they are not sorry.
This is like the epitome of first world problems, right?
That's right.
Like your chicken's just not in the container you prefer.
Just if they gave me the chicken in my hand, I would find a place for it.
Yeah.
Okay,
absolutely.
Joe, here's a cooked rotisserie chicken. I got nothing to put it in. Don't worry about it. I got it. Thank you. Give it to me. $4.99 in. Thank you. I'll put it in my shirt.
We'll figure
I'll
it out.
carry it around my shirt. I put watermelon in my shirt sometimes like that. Hey, Matt, there were 5 giant sharks spotted circling a couple's boat off the Massachusetts coast today. Did you know that sharks vacation this time of year, too? Not just people?
Yeah, they like the colder water.
The warmer water. Because North Shore is colder. The Cape's warmer. Oh, trust me. Gloucester's at least 15 degrees colder than it is down the Cape.
Oh, I just meant in general.
Yeah, okay. No, yeah, I know. Yes, you're right. Here. Yeah, you're right. Compared to where you are to where we are, yes, they like the water here compared to where you are. But a couple of lobster fishers off the coast of Massachusetts spotted 5 enormous sharks surrounding their boat, all frighteningly larger than the vessel itself. You're going to need a bigger boat. A 18-foot boat near Westport. Ooh, it's not far. Spotted a 25-foot shark lurking below the ocean surface. And then they started filming. No wonder why they're circling you. You're messing with them. Man-eaters, roughly the same size, appeared close to the boat roughly 20 minutes later, they said. They were swimming around us. They were inches from our boat. They were plant-merching basking sharks. So does that mean they don't eat people? They have a 10-pot lobster license. That's good to know. We've seen some smaller sharks over the years, but these were the biggest. So that mean the big boys are coming?
They're curious creatures.
So you know a little something about sharks. You have a shark story? Tell us a shark story.
Yeah, when I was living out in LA, when I was in college, I ended up stepping on probably like a 7-foot like nurse shark. It was just chilling in the shadows. I was bobbing up and down in the waves, and my left foot came down on something. I'm like, ooh, that felt cartilaginous. I wonder if it was a stingray.
Cartilaginous?
Yeah, because they're made.
What does that mean?
Well, they're made of cartilage. They don't have like.
Do they have like scales on their skin?
Well, they don't have bones.
Bones.
Yeah. So like what our ears are made of, that's what they are made of.
So do they get that cauliflower ear too?
I mean, sure, if they fought in the MMA, I'll bet they did. I bet they did.
But you stepped on how'd you know it was a shark?
Because my other foot came down on the same exact thing, and I'm like, oh, that's long. And I looked down, and I'm like, oh, that's
You saw the fin?
Oh, yeah. No, well, it was underwater. It was underneath me. So, like, I stepped on it with both feet, and...
You pushed off a shark?
Basically. I mean,
And it didn't attack you?
No.
What did you do?
I looked down, and I was like, oh, that's a shark, and it kept swimming.
You didn't freak out?
No.
Dude, there was like a 50-pound turtle that swam by me in Hawaii, and I freaked out.
It was only like 7 feet. It was only a little bit bigger than I was. Like, what was it going to do to me?
Bite you?
My cousin freaked out, and she and her friends, like, ran away. But I was like, oh, there's a shark.
Cartilaginous?
Cartilaginous.
Cartilaginous. That's the biggest word we've ever used on the show.
That can't be true.
Oh, come on. Dude, I barely graduated high school and went to college for 2 years.
Yeah, sharks are our friends.
You sure about that?
I don't think they're trying to get us. Like,
you sure about that?
They see us, they think we're seals. That's why they
want to eat that. Dude, do you know a shark would have a field day with me? If a shark saw me in the water, it would bite me and drag me under and kill me. And then it would share it with its family. It would be fed for months. I'd be gone, but they would be fed. I'd be doing everyone else a favor if it took me down.
I feel like you would have to be like in the deep sea for that to happen.
I mean, you've seen Jaws, and I know it's a movie.
Not like if you're just like swimming on the coast, I feel like for the most part, you're pretty much safe. I mean, sharks do, it's sometimes, peruse the shallows, but like they're not going to be attacking you for the most part.
So they're not out. It's like a bee. A bee is not out to get me.
Yeah, bees don't want any. Like, why would a bee be like, oh, this very
it's mad.
Large thing that is.
It's mad.
1,000,000 times larger than
How come
me?
a shark gets mad, right?
Yeah.
Does a shark have feelings? Because Kurt Cobain told me that it's okay to eat fish because they don't have any feelings. Does a shark have feelings?
I mean, they probably have the same feelings as fish.
Fish are friends, not food? Can that be a shirt?
Fish are definitely food. But I wouldn't eat a shark. That just doesn't sound good. But I'll eat any fish.
I will say a shark has never broken into my house while I'm sleeping and tried to rob me.
It's a good point. That is a good point.
Joe, if you're scared of sharks, let me take you noodling. I've had friends lose fingers. I don't want to lose fingers. I don't want a shark to bite me.
I think more people get killed by coconuts falling on them than sharks each year.
Well, down the Cape, dude, you can't even go in. I'm telling you, Race Point Beach, if you ever want to take a ride, go all the way to P-Town, all the way. Down. Get the dunes of the Cape. Boom, 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 boom. And then you'll go there, and when you walk in, it's going to say, lots of sharks. And you're going to go to the beach, and you're going to be like, why isn't anybody in the water? And then you're going to see all the seals, and you're going to be like, that's why people aren't in the water. It's the nicest beach probably on the Cape, and nobody can go in the water. And it's weird because are the sharks on the bay side or on the other side? I don't, like, I go to Dennis, I stay there. Anything after Harwich, sharks. Fish food. Out. It's like, oh, come on, meet me down in Wellfleet. No. There's sharks. Come on down to Eastham. No. Sharks.
The only beach that I really go to around here is Hull. And
Nantasket Beach, no sharks.
I've never seen sharks there.
No sharks at Nantasket. They don't want to come this way. They don't go to that beach. I've been to that beach. They don't go there.
They're not cool enough.
No, the beach isn't cool enough there. I grew up there. I used to go to that beach all the time. That's where we went as kids. You want to go to well, back in the day, they used to have a Dream Machine and an arcade and a carousel and all that over there. It was the best. You could just run around the beach for 8 hours, dude. It was awesome. Now, over there, not so much. But I'm out on sharks. I don't want to be eaten by a shark. All right, birthdays today. Well, it's Elon Musk's birthday. Do you think X is ever going to be called something besides X?
Twitter.
Oh, yeah. That's what we call it, right? Mel Brooks is 98 years old today. Kathy Bates, 76. Mama said, you the devil. Let's see what else we have for birthdays today. John Cusack, 58 years old. Bradley Beal is 31. American Idol Kelly Pickler, 38 years old today. Mel Brooks, I already mentioned, 98. Bruce Davison, 78 years old. Mary Stuart Masterson, 58 years old today. Wow. Felicia Day is 45. That's all I got. Let's see if there's any other. Oh, John Elway, he's 64. And King Henry VIII. That's it, Matt. Anything else? Anything you want to complain about?
I don't have any complaints. I'm in a pretty good mood. The Phillies won.
All right, well, we're awaiting the Bruins, who will be making a pick soon. And we will tell you who the Bruins selected at pick number 25, which they are on the clock. We'll get to headlines right now.
From the Town Fair Tire Studio, the Celtics, the Patriots, the Bruins, and the Revolution play here. WBC-FM and HD Boston 98.5, the Sports Hub, a BC Media Group station. Sports Hub headlines.
All right, the Bruins have drafted 6'7" center Dean Letourneau with the 25th pick in this year's draft. They were linked to him. He's headed to Boston College next season. Big, raw. That's who they've acquired. We'll have more on that coming up, and I want to make sure I got the pronunciation right on this kid. But they've been linked to him. He's big, 6'7" center, heading to Boston College next season. Red Sox over at Fenway Park. Well, they lost. Well, they were losing, and they lost 9-2 tonight. Teams will meet again tomorrow. Deontay Murray off to New Orleans for 2 first-round picks. Headlines here brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Don't put off losing weight this summer. Reach your goal during the easiest season for weight loss. Awaken 180, the official weight loss program of summer. I'm Joe Murray. Your next update in 30 minutes.
You want to talk sports? We want to talk sports.
Squeeze the chicken and open the mouth.
It's like we were meant for each other.
This is why you need us.
98.5, the Sports Hub.
Zolak and Bertrand get you through the midday. Joe Murray gets you right through the night.
I actually spoke with women today.
On the Sports Hub.
Thompson, prospect with a ton of upside, but again, a 6'7" center, Dean Letourneau. And I know he has a brother that's in the league. I got to look him up. But when I was looking at some of the picks that the Bruins could be linked to, Letourneau was one of them. And I just wanted to, it's just all just happened. So I'm doing this on the fly. And again, when it comes to some of these picks, sometimes you got to go with the best available. But you know that the Bruins like size and they need a center. And that's exactly what they're going to get here. Again, going to school next year, so it's not someone that would play or anything like that. So here's the update by Ty Anderson. Bruins draft 6'7" center Dean Letourneau. Big project. Played in prep school. A lot of questions as to whether or not he'll be scoring will translate against better competition. He'll be at BC. So that's kind of the lowdown on him. And I know that Ty had that link to him and some players to watch in the first round, and I'll give you his breakdown on it. But you got to be happy with this pick. And we don't know what he'll translate to him. We'll have some time to at least follow. But anything that I've looked at, this is a guy that's been linked to him. 6'7", as we mentioned, considered one of the biggest in the draft. Playing in the prep ranks a year ago, he posted 61 goals and 127 points in 56 games. Those are incredible numbers, but the level of competition being considered a step below some of the other leagues available at the kid's age. Questions on if he's the real deal. Every scout compares him to Ontario-born forward Tage Thompson. And some say he's not the most physical player, considering he is 6'7". But the debate is his real offense. I know Corey Pronman of The Athletic mentioned he's clearly an athlete, but does he have the NHL smarts? If the Bruins want to draft him at 25, it's because clearly they see the offensive upside and that he could have lived up to some of those comparisons. So, the Bruins take Dean Letourneau. Your thoughts? We'll take a quick break. I'm Joe Murray here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Dean Letourneau, who has been linked to him, one of the biggest kids in the draft. Some of the scouting reports that I've looked at had the Bruins linked to him. So just pulling up a couple stories on him. But can things translate? I mean, 6'7" guy, you would hope that he could translate. I was just reading a story from the New York Times regarding this kid. The first reaction from one of the scouts, Dave Langley from St. Andrews College, who worked with several NHL kids, when they looked at him, they said his size is crazy. And he looked at this 6'7" kid in the fall, 210 pounds. He racked up 2 points per game against the top prep schools in North America. And he was given a B rating as far as prospects go. Some indicated maybe he could be a second-round pick. Then he moved up the ladder. All of a sudden, people thought he could be in the first round, potentially in the top 25. He went 25th to the Bruins. Quote, he's a hell of a player. He's really creating a lot of buzz. He's Tage Thompson 2.0. His skating, his shot, and the way he can control the puck in is tight for a guy who's 6'7" or 6'8". They think his size is crazy. Those around him say he's only scratching the surface, too. That he's one of one in the draft class. He'll be one of one in the NCAA when he heads to Boston College. He's got a chance to be one of the small number of players his height to ever have a career as an NHL forward. And people said the first time they saw him, they were in awe of him because of his size. At 15 years old, in the under-18 league. At the time, you had a big, tall, lanky kid who had a scoring touch. He was very intriguing to me as a big kid who looked athletic but kind of young. He still has a baby face. But I just thought there was a ton of potential as he grew and got more coordinated and as he used his athleticism. And the big thing that struck me right off the bat was just his touch. He wasn't your typical kid who was bigger than everybody in minor hockey and just bullies their way around. He played with a lot of thought. He was a good playmaker. People say, wow, when they watch the way that he plays at his size. It's going to be exciting. Letourneau selected 9th in the OHL draft. And I'm looking up a little bit more. His skating is one of the best assets, people say. There's no level of lack of coordination for his size. He's quite agile for his size. He's quite agile just in general, not just for his size. He's got a great edge work. So he's big, he's tall, and he's agile, and he has a touch. He does sound intriguing, Matt Stenberg. It's like all the look at that tall glass of water, right? Man, look at him. He's cute. He's tall. He's big. He's tall.
Jack of all trades.
Some describe him as a rink rat who is constantly putting in extra time, whether that's daily work or outside of the team, prioritizes his time in the weight room. He's a great student who wants to do well and cares about achieving and meeting his potential. He's very, very driven and focused, blah, 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 blah. Hockey has evolved with him. In the old days, you'd sort of pigeonhole him. The thing for me is, let's round out your skill. So to what? They think he was supposed to be a defenseman because he was so big? But because he had so much athletic ability, now he's a center? Great footwork is what people say. He's very, very alert. Letourneau, even with all the development he still has in front of him, he's always been ahead of the curve. People say he plays like a monster. Like a monster! Letourneau is okay with being viewed as a little bit different than all the other draftees. He never wanted to play defense. He was told he should. He doesn't think of himself as a prototypical big forward either. His quote, "My skills are I'm good with the puck and I'm smart. I feel like I'm more helpful to play power play in my team and I can have a puck and use the skills rather than being in front of a net and screening the goalie." So they drafted a guy who should be a defenseman that plays center. Not to be pigeonholed because of his size. He also played lacrosse, basketball, and soccer and tennis.
You said he was 6'7", right? That is big for a center.
Can you name another forward at 6'7"?
No. I thought
what's
Chara? Chara was big as a defenseman at 6'9".
6'9". I'm just trying. What is Tage Thompson's size? Tage Thompson. Tage Thompson is listed at 26 years old. Why can't you give me 6'6"? 6'6". And he had 29 goals and 27 assists. That's a pretty good comp, huh? A 6'6" center. Your thoughts, everybody, at 617-779-0985. We got Steve in Agawam. Hey, Steve.
I love that. First of all, I love that pick. They were linked to some 5'8" defensemen, and I'd much rather take the big forward than the tiny defenseman. But no, I wanted to. You mentioned the Costco is changing from the clamshell cases to the bag.
Yes.
Joe, when you clean the chicken, do you do it in the container or do you transfer it out?
Good point. I have used the container. You're right.
Yeah, that to me is the biggest thing. You pull the bones right out, put them in the top, and then when you're all done, you just fold the thing up and throw it away.
So here's the deal. I don't know if you heard, but I do a trick. I put a rotisserie chicken in a big Ziploc bag, and then I pull all the bones out. So I've gone from you putting it in the case to the bag.
That's fair enough. But yeah, it's death by 1,000 paper cuts at these grocery stores. Like self-checkout, the bags, it's annoying to go grocery shopping now.
Yeah, no, there's going to be no more plastic at all.
It's when I got 2 young kids, I got to get out of the car into the grocery store. Oh, wait it, children. We have to get our reusable bags.
Do you know what I do? I use an app. I order all my groceries on an app, and I let someone bring it to my car. But it's always paper bags, so when I bring it into the house, it's like horrible carrying in. Poor me, right? I got to carry in paper bags. Poor me.
Well, then they fill up my recycle bin. Where do I put all my bottles of vodka?
That's true. Where do we put the pizza boxes?
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
All right, Joe. Hey, have a good night, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Steve. What about the pizza boxes and the bottles of vodka?
So I didn't realize until I moved here up to Massachusetts that all paper bags don't have handles. Because down in Virginia, they all had handles on the paper bag. So it didn't really matter.
I love a handle on a paper bag.
Right. But I feel like they don't have them up here because they're trying to send a message. Because not having a handle is so inconvenient.
I rip all the bags that I carry. Like, again, I get them delivered to my car, but when I carry them, I'm bringing rips. That's the worst, when something rips out of a bag and falls.
Absolutely.
The worst, especially when it's eggs.
I never used reusable bags until I moved up here because I had to.
Yeah, that's right. Or you got to go buy one for 25 cents. All right, we'll get your final headline of the night. What do you think of the Bruins 6'7" center they just drafted who's going to Boston College? We'll have the final headline of the night here on the Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
Dean Letourneau, that's the name of the newest Boston Bruin, picked 25th overall. He'll be heading to Boston College this year, 6'7", 210 pounds, athletic with touch, and had a monster season at prep a year ago. People link him to one Tage Thompson, who was 6'6", and last season had 29 goals, 27 assists, and 56 points. The year before, he had 94 points. That's a pretty good comp. Red Sox lost 9-2 tonight, and Deontay Murray is going from Atlanta to New Orleans for 2 first-round picks. Headlines are brought to you by Valvoline. It's an oil change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandoilChange.com for 15% off your next draft oil change. At Valvoline, it's an oil change now open in Weymouth, Canton, Bedford, and Natick. I'm Joe Murray. Your next update tomorrow.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.
Fair enough. Bruins got some centers, huh? Fabian, what is Lizell? I know Georgi Merkulov. Bruins centers in the system. Merkulov is one. A little bit of a youth movement up the middle, would you say? Because if you think about it, up the middle, I mentioned Beecher is the guy they just brought in, or last year played well. Sorry, Kiki's who they brought up. Beecher's moved along. Patra as well, right? Merkulov's another guy. Just they're trying to get deep at center, and this is a move that, again, a lot of people thought that he's been ascending. And a top 25 player. They moved up to it, and that's exactly where he went. Exactly where he went in this year's draft. So if you want to react to it, you certainly can. And I know that the guys over at 98.5thesportshub.com are all over it. But yeah, Beecher is one. I'm just telling you, Patrick Brown's another guy that can play there. They just got Kostelic. Mark McLaughlin can play there. We mentioned Georgi Merkulov, Oscar Steen. So these are guys that can play the position. But I'll say this. A 6'7" center that has athletic ability and can play, that's linked to a guy that gives you 90 points a year, or a comp in. And we'll get to see him at Boston College. This is exciting. This is the guy that they got for Linus Ullmark. If they hit on this, be very good for one Boston Bruins. 617-779-0985. That's the number there. The Red Sox lost tonight. By the way, we got Joe Me the Money. We're going to bump it back, so we'll end the show with Joe Me the Money tonight. Red Sox lost 9-2. Nobody cares. But the greed comment. Get greedy. One little betting note when it comes to the Red Sox. They continue to lose the opening game of series, but they did win the other one this week. Opening game on a walk-off. They have struggled to open games in the series. So if you're a bettor, you should watch that. And then what happened tonight against the Padres? They lost the opening game. Tanner Houck goes tomorrow. But just because they lost tonight, winning of 10 of 13 is good. Having players like Devers, having players that, I'm telling you right now, I think it's the players, not core. That's at least my take on it. And I know a couple of guys missed out on the All-Star team, and who knows if they'll get in there. The voting didn't go their way. But I think they'll get a couple of All-Stars. I was asked yesterday, would you trade Kenley Jansen? I would. But at the same time, there needs to be a simple direction. Are you selling or are you buying? You can't do both. If that's the case, I would keep Kenley Jansen. So if it's about buying or selling, I am going to buy, not sell. But if I had a choice, I would definitely ship out a closer and try to get a haul for it. We'll leave it at that. I see you guys in the chat tonight as well. Wayno, he's in there. Linus, some people are saying. Just ordered wings to go half garlic parm. Yeah. Oh, I love a garlic parm with a little bit of ranch. Did Joe just say Urkel? Did I? Remember the Urkel dance? I do. And Jaleel White was the guy's name. I've seen him recently. What was he on?
Family Matters.
Well, yeah, he was on Family Matters. He was on something else recently. Man, the Sphere is here. The Sphere just looks like a snow globe. Those little snow globes you get on vacation, you shake them up. Shake them up.
Except you're in it when you're at the Sphere.
That's right. You're in the snow globe. All right, Matt. We'll pause here. We'll take a break. And coming up next, Joe Me the Money here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
Hey, what's up?
Here it is. Show me the money.
Jerry, does that make you feel good just to say that? Say it with me one time, Jerry.
Show you the money.
Oh, no, you can do better than that, Jerry. I want you to say it with meaning, brother. Hey, I got Bob Sugar on the other line. I better hear you say it.
No. Show you the money.
Not show you. Show me the money.
Show me the money.
Yeah. Louder.
Show me the money.
That's it, brother, but you got to yell at me.
Show me the money.
I need to feel you, Jerry.
Show me the money.
Jerry, you better yell. Show me the money.
Favorite at plus 145. I think they win. but I'm going to lay off that. I'm going under 1.5 tomorrow. Italy, Switzerland. Ring the bell, ding, ding, ding. So, hoping to go 3-0. I went 4-0 last week and 4-0 the week before. That's called a streak. It's called a streak. So, we're on one. That is your Joe Me the Money for this week. So, I'll tell you what I got going on this weekend. Off tomorrow, thankfully. But I'll be back here on Sunday with Cerrone Battle. So I believe I'm on at 10 a.m.
I'll see you there.
Oh, you're going to be here too, Matt Stenberg, huh?
Yep.
Going to bring the Sharks with you?
All the Sharks. Nothing but Sharks.
I can't believe that shark story of yours. Like, if I was in the water near a shark, I'd be terrified forever.
It didn't faze me.
I told you I got stung by bees when I was a kid.
I've never been stung by a bee.
Like it was a My Girl situation.
Yeah?
Yeah. I was walking Blue Hills, stepped on a beehives, and got just roasted. So I have a fear of bumblebees. Right? I don't like snakes. I've never been bit by a snake, but you know what? I don't like snakes.
I don't like wasps.
Oh, God.
Those are the worst.
Those ones that you see that are coming over from, like, the murder cornet.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Remember
the
that
ones
thing?
from Japan.
Out.
The ones that are like an inch long.
I'm a large man, but you know what? When I see weird insects I don't know, like that silver, you ever see a silverfish? You ever see one of those things crawl around? They usually come out in the heat. A silverfish, out. They got like 9,000 legs.
I saw on Instagram the other day, there's a moth that can grow to the size of your hand.
No.
And I'm wondering why that would terrify me more than like a hummingbird. Because they're about the same size, yet one's a bird and one's a moth, and they're both probably just as unpredictable. Why is the moth so much scarier? It's because it's a bug, and that's the confusing part of it.
Janet Jackson's in town tonight, and all I could think of is a moth by a flame. Blown by the fire. My love is blind, can't you see my desire? Out on moths, dude. Out. I don't want them in my house. They always somehow I have a hallway before I open my door, and somehow those moths find their way into my hallway.
They're better at finding light than we are.
Yeah. Do you ever do moths eat your clothes? Like, what do moths do?
I think they eat silk.
Okay, yeah, there you go. Silk.
I don't own silk. I've also never seen a moth eat clothing.
Is there like a moth movie about the moth? Like a butterfly used to be what, a caterpillar? Or is it the other way around? I can't remember now.
Yeah, caterpillars go into cocoons and they become butterflies through metamorphosis.
Another movie I did not like growing up, Cocoon. Out.
I'm not familiar with that one.
Oh, yeah, go look that up.
Is it a horror movie?
Nope. It was a movie that came out in the 80s, I believe. It was that. It was like that and what was that? What was the other one called? What was that movie that came out at the same time? Mothman. Sorry, I was thinking of Mothman. Mothman was a movie. Thank you for the people in the chat. Yeah, Mothman. Oh, West Virginia folklore. Again, you're from Virginia.
I'm not from West Virginia. West Virginia is a different state.
Should I pull up a map and get it right? Joe versus the map.
West Virginia is more next to Maryland.
Mothman's a humanoid creature from West Virginia, reportedly seen in the Point Pleasant area from 1966 to 67. The myth began in 1966 when two young couples fled the woods and reported seeing a terrifying creature with human features, 10-foot wings, glowing red eyes. They published a story, and you know what happened? They were unsuccessful in finding the legend or the creature.
Out on that. That sounds terrifying.
And they have a Mothman festival now.
There's nothing worse than like seeing an insect in your house and then not seeing it. Because you just don't know
like the
where
spider.
it is.
Like the spider. You saw the spider, all right, I'm going to go grab the spider, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
And it's like, where did you go?
You don't know where it is.
And it's like, what crevice did you fall into? And where is that? The other thing is when you're sleeping. I've heard that bugs go into your mouth while you sleep. That freaks me out.
I'll bet it's possible. I don't think it's likely. I think most of that is BS.
Just like that newspaper article?
I feel like as long as you have air conditioning, the bugs will just exist because they like cold and damp spaces.
But do they want to crawl into your mouth and live inside you?
I don't think they want to do that at all because then they die.
That's true. They can't get out of that. It's like a shark. You go into a shark's mouth. You're going to live inside a shark?
Well, we're not trying to do that.
We're not trying to do that either, but you can't breathe because it's underwater, right? Because you're inside the shark?
Yeah, but you've got to be in a weird situation for that to happen. Like, you've got to be in the middle of the ocean. If you're in, like, 6 feet of water, you're probably fine. That's what I was when I encountered my shark.
One more before we go. Mice. You see those little bad boys, and they're gone. But where do they find the crevices? Luckily, I haven't had any. All right, that's it for tonight.
So, Larry Nance Jr., Dyson Daniels, and 2 first-round selections are headed back to the ATL. The Dallas Mavericks trading Tim Hardaway Jr. and 3 second-round draft picks to the Pistons for Quentin Grimes. The Toronto Raptors splurging with cash money as they lay down the funds on Emmanuel Quigley in the form of 5 years and $175 million. NHL first round, their draft is going on from Las Vegas, and the first overall selection, Macklin Celebrini, San Jose Sharks. He's a forward from Boston University. In Major League Baseball, it was a home run, a 20th home run of the season for Juan Soto in a Yankee win. Final score of that one, 16-5. I'm Brian Fenley.
This is the Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon.
See, I have this friend.
Jason.
Girls don't like him because he looks different.
It's Jason Smith.
Jason.
Oh! Jason. Mike Harmon.
I'm out of here. Got a collarless leather jacket to buy.
Oh! This is the Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon.
Telling you what, that's an interesting pick for the Memphis Grizzlies. That's really one of the big things that jumped out to me that nobody seemed to talk about in the first round of the draft. Like, everyone was so caught up in Dalton Connect dropping. Everyone was so caught up in the Sutton Filipowski story, and then they had the Marquette guy where there was a report that he couldn't read. So everyone got caught up on these stories, and everyone just it's hilarious. We'll get to it later. The Zach Edey draft. The fact that people were saying he wouldn't even get drafted, that he wasn't going to be a first-round pick, and he goes at number 9 overall to the Grizzlies? The heck, man! I can't wait to see how it works out.
You know, the